Feel incredible!
It's not a cartoon. It's anime. Yes.
Back in this bitch.
Welcome to another episode of animeSHUN, where we review anime by the seasons, and we talk. We have our comedic take on it. That's what we do.
Yeah,
This is what
that
we
is
do.
what we do.
That is what
It's
we
the
do.
greatest fucking anime podcast in the history of the world.
Even if you don't have a tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ice, Rob,
Hey.
Brennan, myself,
Keenan.
Keenan.
What up?
We
Back
out
in the
here.
building, man. The whole squad's together. The team's together,
We
man.
back
We
all
are,
our
yeah.
powers. Our powers combined.
Captain Planet.
Yeah.
We got a new show, y'all.
Yeah, we got a new anime. I hope y'all followed along.
I'm
We
excited.
reviewed Vinland Empire. Vinland Saga.
You thinking about San
Vinland
Bernardino?
Saga. Is it Vinland or Vinland?
Vinland.
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 Vinland
Okay.
Saga.
I don't know that I heard the difference.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I didn't
was-
hear the difference what he
hear
said
the
either.
Vinland or Vinland? I was like,
I heard a difference. I don't know.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
weird.
All right.
All right. Well, I got. You
You
want me
get
to
some
give me
notes? Yeah.
Yeah, I got some notes. Y'all
Give
know
us-
me up in these streets.
Yeah, of course.
give us
All
I
right.
know me up in these streets.
What you don't?
I just think that's a funny thing to say.
All right. So this is a shonen anime.
Mhm.
It's based around which obviously,
It's made by Shonen.
no.
Oh,
Shonen
okay.
anime.
Oh.
Shonen anime. There's more to the name of that company than just shonen. There's shonen.
Shonen
something.
Jump.
Yeah. So I didn't say that. I just
Yeah.
said shonen.
I just want to make sure.
So shonen is a type of anime that is made for young men between the ages of like 12 and 18 is the idea here.
Yep.
Typically you have a male protagonist around the age of 15. So that's normally what that is. So that's what this is. This is a shonen anime. It came from manga. The original manga started in 2005 and actually
Yeah.
still runs
Oh,
to
okay.
present. It's 22 volumes.
damn.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Long running.
In over 10 years.
It just says it
There's
says
some big ass
22
volumes.
It must be. But
Yeah.
like it says it started in April 13, 2005
It's
and
fucking
runs
a
to present.
cure.
But the anime though is brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
It
year.
started in July this year, 2019.
Had some buzz.
24 episodes, and it looks pretty interesting. Now, what I found really interesting is the director's name is Shuhei Yabuta. I apologize, brother, if I said your name wrong. But the thing is, actually, I was doing some research on him, and I was able to find two different things about him. Like on his IMDb, very few credits, which tells me that it's not complete. There's something wrong here. And so, like, it just had him on Vinland Saga as a director in 2019. In 2018, it had him and Ginjapakan Shingij no Kijo season 2.
Ricky
Totally.
Timbo, no
Yeah, you guys know that
Got
show,
it.
right? Yeah, you know that show. But then he did something else called Inuyashiki, which scares me because I'm like, is that something?
I just saw that on Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know
when
what
When
that
you
is.
watch this that's like
It comes
suggested.
up.
That's
yeah.
the
It's
next
not
suggestion?
Inuyasha,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah.
It is not Inuyasha, but the next suggestion is because this man directed it as well.
Mhm.
But then I also found some other stuff on him that was also really interesting. Is like,
You guys got to peep Brennan in his iPad right now. He's like a new age teacher.
well, it's really interesting. So this, I think I actually at one point had two different IMDb pages as well.
Yeah.
And there's like they had half my credits for all the different things that I've done. So I think I've merged them
humble
all
brag.
together.
This guy's out
Everybody
here.
has an IMDb page, right?
I mean,
do
yeah,
not.
I think I do.
All right, know what you're talking about.
I don't have one. That's
Oh.
what I'm talking about.
We'll get you set up.
We'll get you. We got you, man. All you got to do is like literally make it. Um,
That was so like I feel like it was disrespectful, but it wasn't.
It
But
wasn't meant
like-
to be. It wasn't meant to be.
But it kind of was.
I didn't mean that to be disrespectful at all.
You gotta get
Because I've
get
made
better
it.
at your craft.
Yeah.
It's like that's how I,
I
was like.
didn't make
shit.
mine, to be honest. That's why I had two of them. Is that I had two.
Oh, you
different
mean make it like physically make it?
Get
No,
better.
no, I mean
you
like
gotta
make-
go online
I
and
meant
like type
physically
it
make
Oh,
out.
the
I thought you.
page.
I thought you.
No,
meant-
it's cool. You just gotta become a star.
Yeah, that's
There
what
you
I was
go.
like. You
No,
just
no,
gotta
no.
make it.
That's funny. I didn't even see that. Now
Yeah,
I get it.
that's
I'm like,
it.
oh, that's really
'Cause
funny.
you
actually.
can't make your own IMDb page.
Yeah.
You can't make it yourself.
I
You can't?
mean,
No.
I didn't know that. So that's why I had two
Yeah,
of
you
them.
can't,
So
yeah.
two different production companies I had worked for.
That's
made
why
it.
I was.
That's
yeah.
why.
But
That's how
I'm
it happens.
90% sure, and Cameron's telling me you can make your own IMDb page. You just have to buy. You have to pay for Pro. Yeah. If you
Oh,
wanna-
okay.
So
okay.
I had to pay for it. So I
Okay.
paid
Yeah, I
for it.
thought you was like
That was
you
the only
gotta
way that I could merge the two pages together.
get your
because-
ass on American Idol.
Okay.
No, so I was on the X Factor. I was a producer on that show. And then I was in the credits for that. So that's how I got on IMDb the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was a producer on Top Gear for the BBC. And then I got on IMDb for that. And then all these different movies and shows that I worked on after that would credit me to either one of them, however they felt. I didn't know they existed.
Yeah.
So like one day when I finally realized that I had an IMDb page, I was like, oh shit, there's a bunch of information on the internet about the things I've done. Why are there two of me? So then I just like paid for the thing and merged them together. 'cause
You
it's
gave
really
him the
nice.
Pachara rings. Got it.
Merged him.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I like that nerd take on it. But either way, the second IMDb page I found for this guy doesn't have the accents on his name, but the credits he have actually make a lot of sense, and I think you guys are gonna be like, oh shit, this really makes sense.
Okay.
So I just told you guys I just finished watching the show Overlord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did the 3D direction for that show.
Okay.
Did he do Berserk?
Did he do Berserk? No,
Okay.
he didn't do Berserk. But the show that I think you guys are really gonna be like, oh, okay, of course, is he did 3D directing on an episode of Attack on Titan.
Yeah, that makes
Mm.
sense.
Makes
That
perfect
absolutely
sense.
Yeah.
makes sense.
So I was just
Yeah.
like, of course. So obviously he knows the people from Attack on Titan.
Which episode was it? Does it?
Yeah, it does.
mention-
It says
Is it the one where Levi just like tears ass through town and like cuts everybody up? Because that was a great one.
That's what I felt like once you said it. I assumed that went out the gate.
Yeah.
I'm looking right now. It looks like it's gonna take me a while to figure that out. Which
All
episode
right.
it
Okay.
is.
I'm just gonna assume it's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great job on that one, guy.
Well done.
Yeah, that episode was incredible. But either way, he's worked on a lot of stuff. Overlord, like I said, Kimi no Kui, and most of it he did visual effects. Like he's a visual effects director, and it looks like that's what he does. And before that, he was in the animation department. Before that, he's in the art department, and he even directed before he did all that something called Alderman on the Sky, in 2016. But it looks
in
like
the sky. They doing math.
that sounds like
Algebra in the sky.
But it sounds like he's been pretty active in the anime industry since about 2011.
Okay.
Is when
So
he
he
really
got his
started.
credits up. He said, "Don't disrespect me with those
I
two."
think if I had to from the way that we look at all the different directors that we've been working with and how anime directors work in general.
So wait, sorry, before you go any further, clarify. So he didn't get started in anime until 2011, but this has been Vinland Saga has been going on since 2002.
Yeah, the manga.
Oh, okay.
2005.
Yeah.
Manga, so
Yeah,
okay.
typically they bring in directors from anime to do the manga adaptations of anime. So,
Okay, cool.
so Vinland Saga's manga has been going on since 2005.
Understood.
So what I was gonna say though is that I'd say he's just from the way that we've been doing the show and how I've been looking at the reviews of directors in general, he's relatively young and relatively new.
Mhm.
He's only directed a couple shows. So for him to be doing this, I think this to me feels like this is his big break because all the other shows that I see that he's done, he's been able to direct or 3D direct like a few episodes here, a few episodes there, direct an episode here, direct an episode there. And now it's like, okay, cool, this is your show.
Yeah.
So pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that
This
Gotta let it come up.
Yeah, this got a
Um,
lot of heat too at the beginning. At least I remember seeing the trailer. People were like coming like, "This is gonna be one for the books."
yeah, and so last thing I'll say is that this show was really adapted. Obviously, it's about Vikings and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty cool.
Which is funny though, because you got Japanese people doing a take on.
Yeah.
yeah,
It
I
is
mean,
kinda
European.
they also
Yeah.
did basketball, so
Yeah.
I
But
think
that
there's
was still
nothing
in
off.
Japan.
There's
Yeah.
nothing off limits anymore after
Mm.
Kuroko. They
Yeah.
can,
Well, yeah, I mean that's true. They did basketball in Japan though.
Well,
Yeah.
it's interesting too, and we'll get on this a little bit later. But I always think about one of those things like whenever we there's a Western movie that takes place in any other country that's just foreign, they just like give it. It's just some dude with a British accent,
Yeah.
basically, just like instead of doing the language. And then it was interesting to see that from the other side, where it's like they have all these English people like
Yeah,
attacking the
yeah,
Vikings,
yeah.
and it's just like it's just straight up Japanese. Like,
Yep.
They didn't even
Fair.
no.
No.
They don't even say they're Japanese. It's just a lot. Well, we'll get into it.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
it's funny.
So the last thing I was going to say is just to give us the setting. The setting is this is 1013 AD in England, which the Danish king Sween Forkbeard has conquered all of Norway and all that kind of stuff. And the story draws elements from historical accounts of. So this actually does draw some like this story.
This is real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like this is
Yeah.
actually a real story.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Accounts of a period as the flagship, but the saga of the Greenlanders and the saga of the Eric the Red, the two things. And if you guys actually, I'm happy I didn't look at this ahead of time, but if you see this picture right here, of like what,
Oh, yeah,
what the
that's
manga
Thorfinn?
looks like, yeah, that's Thorfinn.
Yeah.
So I think we already know what he about to be about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
That action.
he's on that Kill Bill kind of shit.
Yeah,
as you
so,
should be.
But yeah, that's the background that I have of the show for all of us. I think it's a good setting.
If you want
for,
binges, come back when you're older.
Yeah,
Bruh.
it's gonna be like that.
So how did y'all?
It's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right.
What?
The show. How you feel about it?
Yeah, it's all right.
It's all right.
We just doing a review off top?
No,
or-
not a review. We're just saying.
Yeah,
just
before we get
beginning
into like what
takes.
Rob says, just like before we get into like how you feeling like
Yeah, how did it make you feel a little bit?
I liked it.
Of course.
Of course.
I liked
We all
it.
did too.
Yeah, we actually did too. We just
Yeah.
want to see if we said we didn't like it. Like Ice gonna say
And
whatever
we
the
knew
opposite.
we knew
We're gonna
it.
whatever the opposite we say. Ice gonna be on
No,
it.
It's so easy.
I
Yeah, it was.
liked it.
But I feel
was
like
so.
this is entrapment as well, though.
Yeah,
Because it's a good show. Like it's like
it is a good show. But
Uh,
I had a feeling he's just gonna be like. I thought he was gonna be like it's okay. But I mean, the show is the first 4 episodes as
yeah,
Rob.
his face though when you were
Yeah.
like, "Yo, how do you feel?" He was like, "I like it."
Yeah.
Nah, this is why
that would've
He
been
feels
like-
like he's being watched.
Yeah.
This is why this is why I didn't care because this is what I used to try to do. I used to try to be like, hey man, y'all go first, and that's when I was like, oh, he's trying to get our opinion
Yeah.
to morph
Yeah,
his
he
opinion.
does do that.
No, I don't. I
So that's why I was
my
like,
opinions
All right,
already
well, just
down
for the record,
regardless.
okay, just for the record, when we finish the episode today, Ice is giving the power level first. Okay.
Okay,
That's fine.
All right,
Okay,
there we
cool.
are. We're good.
okay, go ahead, Rob. Knock us
Let's
out
hop
for the
into
first
it.
episode.
Yeah. So as you were saying,
Ice is great, man. Ice was just like, "What?"
I enjoyed it.
so as you were saying, Brennan, the main story takes place, in like 1012 AD, but like this starts out a little bit before that, like 987 or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
We're starting off with, like kind of the scene that reminded me of like Gladiator or whatever. This dude's like off in this like golden field,
Yo,
is like
this scene,
seeing a vision of like his wife and child.
I was all in.
Yeah.
From the scene, from the very first scene of the show,
Yeah.
I was like, "Let's fucking go."
This is
Yeah.
like this is how you set it off,
Assholes.
man.
Yeah.
I know for me, if you want to get me in the show immediately, this is how you fucking do
the
it.
Tarantino.
Violence.
Where we come from, yeah.
I just want violence at the beginning. That's cool with me.
Yeah, because he's having this vision, then all of a sudden he like runs into something like in the field, and then he looks down, and it's just like a severed head, and then he comes back to, and he's on the ship in the middle of this huge fucking battle, and he's
Yeah.
just cutting folks
Yo,
Yo,
he's going
he
to work.
is-
slicing their ass, bro.
He is like straight. Like I don't even know what's the best. I'm trying to think like what's the best like bouncing Pokemon or something like that we could say because the way he jumps around on these ships is just like.
He was Tigger. I know
Yeah.
he's
There we
not-
go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll take that. He's just being Tigger.
He's cutting
all
cats
over.
in half, bro. He's
Mhm.
cutting
If
them
Tigger
diagonally
was
in half.
Leonidas.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got a haircut like that guy does, like you gotta
Yeah.
bring it because that's goofy.
That shit is silly.
Yeah.
It is.
He looks like a fucking Pokemon trainer.
He does. So, so it's him. And this. So that's Thors is the guy that's going around wrecking everybody. And he's got his.
destroying people.
He's got his
Yeah.
second in command right behind him. This guy named Floki, Thors and Floki.
Yeah,
I wonder where
Floki,
they got
yeah.
those from.
Yeah.
Wonder where, huh?
but
But this was before the movies, so I mean, but obviously the
Yeah.
comics, yeah.
because
Yeah.
I mean, they got the comics. I mean, that's
Yeah.
also just that's Norse mythology. So that's
Yeah,
that's
that's
right.
they're
You're
pulling
right.
that. So they're in the middle of the battle, and Thors is kind of like trying to get his distance. He's just like, "Oh yeah, Floki, you take our guys over that way. I'm gonna go hop on the ship," and he does his Tigger thing, and
yeah.
hops from ship to ship,
fucking
and,
rip the roo.
and he keeps on that like trail of carnage. And at one point, like he's killing this dude, and like the guy kind of like looks up at him, and it's just like it's like, "Oh, Maria, sorry," like
Right,
his
yeah, he
girlfriend's
did,
name
yeah.
or whatever. He's like,
You
"Oh."
mother. You know you can't put to say your girl's name in battle, mother. That's like I think that's a cardinal rule. You don't
Yeah.
do that because it's like people that they never bring your kids.
Yeah.
Like leave your kids in your wallet because there's somebody trying to kill you, or like in military.
Yeah.
They were like, don't put your family in your wallet because if they find you, they can whatever.
They can keep
Yeah.
sever ties.
And he was
yeah.
Maria. That might save me. Nah, nigga.
Start giving her address, Maria 6278.
Yo, still
But-
killed him.
But he gets in a tussle with somebody else because he ends up taking an arrow at one point, and
Yeah,
he's just
Yeah,
like,
he's
like
"Oh,
it was
oh.
nothing.
Doesn't
Yeah.
even feel it.
I don't think
Yeah.
arrows really matter in this show.
not to that guy."
They
Wait,
do. They
yeah.
definitely do.
They do, but I'm just saying.
They-
Like, I'm just saying if I get shot by an arrow, I'm gonna there's gonna be a reaction. I'm not
Just
it's
the
not gonna
fact
be like,
that you did it in 2019.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you
first of all,
shot
good
me
point.
and with a fucking arrow. Like you think that less of me as a man. That out of all the things you was like gun, nope, knife, nope, arrow.
Yeah.
That
I'm
means
a
whoever
fucking-
if somebody shot you with an arrow, that means they're probably vicious because
Yeah,
they didn't. I'm like, I don't want to kill you easy.
yeah.
No.
y'all just made me decide. Like if I ever decide that somebody needs to die, I'm probably gonna use an arrow.
You got it. That shit is
Crossbow.
tricky too.
Diabolical.
I was gonna say crossbow for Brendan. I already.
But
I felt
crossbow gun,
it. Felt it.
I could take that. But if you arching that shit back like fucking Robin Hood, oh, we got problems.
Yeah.
'Cause
Have you ever done that before?
No,
archery?
I haven't.
Yeah.
I tried
Yeah,
to.
me too.
It's kind of
It's pretty hard.
yeah.
It's
I'd
very
be
hard.
willing to
Respect to
bet.
those
I'd be willing to bet
Olympians.
Rob's good at it for some reason.
I'm pretty good at it.
I
yeah.
knew it.
it.
I took it in gym class. It was a lot of fun. I got stories about that later. We can
Yeah,
get
be
They
wary
had-
of
they
Rob,
had that
guys.
in gym class. What school was this?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
never had nothing.
Yeah, we
It's
didn't
like
have no
our-
archery.
It's like our
Yeah.
senior year. We could like choose basically what from marking period to marking period.
You had
like,
it too,
what you got
Cam?
to do. Yeah, we went to the same high school. So
Oh,
I mean,
okay, yeah. All right.
What? Yeah, so like one of them, it was like you could do basketball or like volleyball or archery. And
Or
I'm like,
archery?
I'm doing
Okay,
archery. Like,
nah.
yeah, we had like a rock climbing one and like a canoeing one because we had like a creek.
That
in the
is
back.
sick.
We had gym or band?
Yeah,
Like
that's
we
it.
had the fucking woods back behind us, man. This
Yeah.
was
Oh,
like,
okay.
That
Oh, you
makes
got it back
sense.
in Syracuse, right?
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. When I've been
We
in Syracuse,
didn't-
Syracuse.
You
is-
said
yeah.
you either gonna take this
Band.
basketball or get the fuck out my face, or
Yeah.
grab that flute.
Yeah.
That's it.
I
Play percussion.
actually was in the band too.
I was in
Yeah.
the band.
I tried to be. That's another story.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Rob.
Anyway, so he's getting into a tussle and he gets tackled off this boat and he still stabs this dude underwater.
Underwater.
He stabs the shit. He takes his knife and stabs him with it.
And
Yeah.
then the fact that shit was so gangster, he was like, "I'm good on this this sword." And just
Yeah.
fucking tosses
Drops
it.
it.
Yeah, this is
You
a
can-
nice sword too. Oh, look
Right.
at that.
You
Yeah.
can go with this sword. The whole time he's under there for at least 30 seconds.
Bro,
Oh,
he,
yeah.
he just had a battle underwater and just said, "I'm not gonna even go for air. I'm just gonna keep swimming underwater."
He was
Yeah.
chilling. There was like some Kuroko basketball shit, just having full on
Yeah.
monologue
Conversations in the middle of a game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm underwater.
Yeah, but then he swims to shore and he just, as like the ships are burning behind him, he just walks off. And
Oh,
that's
wait.
our intro.
Part of that intro, I just want to say, the guy underwater, he got KO'd.
Yeah, he got
Yeah.
KO'd.
Yeah.
Every single person on those ships that
got-
ran
they
into
got
Thors
KO'd.
got KO'd.
Yeah.
Poor
Bringing
Kato,
it back.
man.
Yeah,
We-
he
I
got-
just got to feel
Boom.
throw back to Kato,
He
man.
got
That poor
his
guy.
ass
Oof.
whooped.
I wish
Just
we
for
could just have like a little stamp when we say Kato. Just
It's
comes
like,
on the screen,
boom.
like a stamp.
Yeah.
He
It's just
got-
him like
he got
that could be
KO'd.
like some of our YouTube content, and we just go
Yeah.
through animes and like who got KO,
Who got
KO'd.
KO'd? Yeah.
Yo, just so for anybody who doesn't know, we're referring to some earlier episodes that we did about.
And we know,
Baki.
go
Baki
watch
the
the
grappler.
shit. Go watch it.
No, it's great. Like this Baki, there's
was
one episode in
amazing.
particular where a guy named Kato gets into a fight, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
You should go watch that
Watch the
episode.
episode and
If you want to
see
know
all
what happened to Kato,
Yeah.
see what happened to
You
these
wanna see
folks
the
on the
reference?
ship.
Honestly, Kato, I'll say this. I'll take it back. This guy didn't get KO'd. He just got killed.
He just
Yeah.
got killed.
He didn't get
K-
Kato.
K-
Kato
yeah,
got Kato.
Kato
Yeah.
got
Kato got
like,
KO'd.
there is very. I'm trying to rack my brain. There's not a lot of people that just got fucking KO'd in the stuff that we've watched.
so
Um,
far.
It's very rare.
I think
people
no.
get
Who
KO'd.
I forgot his name, but the dude who
Mob
fought
Psycho. That's what I
That
said.
Oh,
Mob
dude
yeah,
who got
Psycho.
Mob, who
Yeah.
fought Mob.
Yeah, he got Kato.
He got
He
KO'd.
got KO'd.
So yeah, that's another one.
We might have
watched,
said that. We might have
Mob
said that on the
Psycho.
show
I think
too.
we
I think.
did.
Yeah, I think we did.
That
But
was-
please, Rob. I'm sorry, but I just had to bring up the Kato.
Yeah. So we get a fast forward here, it jumps ahead in time, and now we're in Iceland, and it's like we see this little boy kind of going around this little Viking village,
Dun, dun, dun.
going about day to day, and he's got his little Viking family. They're hanging out, and then later on, he and his little Viking friends are hanging out.
You were
This is so condescending, dog.
I know, right? These little Viking
These little
motherfuckers.
Viking friends
fucks.
telling their little Viking stories about just like, oh, we sailed to the new land.
Oh yeah, Viking.
Yeah.
fan.
Well, because I mean,
which
that
ain't a fucking new land. That shit pissed me off. I ain't gonna lie.
yeah. Well,
that's what they called it. It's historically accurate.
at the time.
What is?
At the
No,
time,
that's
it was
what they thought it was.
Yeah, I know, but that
That's
shit.
all I'm
I
saying. That's
got
what's historically
so,
accurate.
My,
They believed
my
it.
pro-blackness kicked in when I watched that shit.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
Yeah, because that's the thing. The
Fuck
guy
Lee
who's
Ferguson.
All right,
because
Spike.
Leif Erikson, real guy,
Yeah.
a real historical
Happy Lee
person.
Ferguson, dude.
And he's telling a story to all these kids about just like, yeah, I found this new undiscovered continent, but there were people there who gave me this headdress that I'm wearing,
right,
which
in
are
a pipe.
in a pipe. But
Did they give it to him? Or did
Or
they
did you-
steal
yeah.
it?
That's a good question because he's
You know
just
how
like,
they
there's
are.
no war there, but it's like,
You know how they was doing
Yeah.
back in the day.
But we brought measles.
we traded this headdress for some measles and smallpox.
pretty much.
We traded it.
But that wasn't necessarily the Vikings. That was the
That's true.
the
It was
English
right.
that
Yeah,
came,
yeah,
the
yeah.
Spanish that came later.
You're right, Rob.
They
All
were,
right, Rob.
they were pretty back. But I thought that was interesting because there is like historical evidence. They found like Viking shit up in like the Minnesota area.
Yeah,
which
they've been
is
there before for
why
sure.
the
Minnesota
Minnesota
Vikings.
Vikings.
Yeah, yep.
Because they sailed up through the Great Lakes and landed there for a while, and then they all died off. But they call this undiscovered country Vinland, and it's like their promised land, and it's
Yeah.
where I'm thinking of that. I don't know if you guys saw Fievel. Like, there's no cats in America, and the streets are paved with cheese. It's a whole thing. Anyway,
What
it's
was
like
it
this-
called?
The Fievel goes like Fievel and Fievel goes west. You
Five
ever
Goes
seen
West?
those?
Yeah, you don't remember Five Goes West?
I remember that.
Little Mouse?
Yeah, it's like a little mouse.
I've never seen that in
It
my
was
life.
like an immigrant story about them coming to America and how like, oh, it's the promised land, everything's great there, and
Yeah,
they get
it
there and it
wasn't.
turns out it's shitty there too.
Ice might be too young for that. Because
Oh,
Ice is
yeah.
like 25, 20, 26.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like
Cameron's younger than Ice, and he says he knows it.
You know it's Fievel.
Okay.
Cameron,
Anyway.
Cameron's
That's
all
some,
up in this
that's some
episode today,
Syracuse.
guys.
That's some Syracuse.
Shout out to
shit.
Cam.
Yeah, we
No, we knew about it.
Yeah.
It was like literally a cartoon that they had us watch a lot of times when we were kids, even
Yeah.
in school and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're telling the story, and meanwhile, while they're doing that, Thors walks in the door, and it turns out it's the little boy's dad. He's got his family now. He left the army life behind him. We find out a little bit more about that later, but for now, he's just like he's a dad. He's doing the
Dad
peaceful
stuff.
peacetime thing.
Family.
He's got his daughter, the older daughter, and the younger son, Thorfinn, who is featured throughout these episodes.
Is
But-
that a thing that they did, like Thorfinn?
What do you mean? Like they just like kind of altered
Just-
the name of the dad a little bit?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. You see that a lot in like Game of Thrones and stuff like that. It's like, or even like Lord of the Rings. So maybe
Yeah.
it's like you got Jamie and Damie and
Mhm.
Lamey, and it's like I don't know. It's just like life is hard. It's like a lot of these kids are gonna die off anyways. Like
Right,
I'm not gonna
yeah.
waste my time naming them.
That, which they talk about too in that one.
They
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
I would say this is the first Thor I've ever seen who didn't need a hammer.
No,
He didn't need a hammer.
he didn't. He didn't. This
No,
is a
he
big
doesn't
dude.
at all.
But so all the kids get put off to bed, and Thors and Leif Erikson are talking about like one day we'll leave this like shitty land behind and go off and settle in
Let's
Vinland.
hurry up and leave this country, motherfucker.
They don't
hell
believe
outta
anything
here.
he said anyways, right?
A lot of people like.
Oh, yeah, that
seems
kids
like
called him
Thors
out.
does,
They call-
but
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, you lying, man. My dad said, man, you can't even go there, man. They be eating people and shit.
yeah.
Man.
Well, because they say like it's this time when like flat Earth is kind of like an accepted
Yeah.
thing. And it's like they're just like,
Yeah.
well, no, and the legends
fall
tell us
off,
there's
you'll
like
fall
a
off, yeah.
like a monster out there
Them
that lives in
kids
the
roasted
ocean.
the fuck
Yeah.
out of him. They're
Yeah.
like, you a bitch. Get the
Yeah.
fuck out of my
So
face.
really did.
With that
Get out
bullshit.
with your Viking stories,
bullshit
You
out of
a
here.
warrior? I don't believe you a warrior.
You ain't
though.
a warrior. You
My
say
dad,
that
you
shit.
want to say, well, that's my daddy. Yo, bitch ass.
You out there just taking down messages. He
Yeah.
shot. He hit him with an arrow. Deliver this message.
Yeah, right.
Go ahead.
But there's a cutaway in the middle of that, like in the middle of that night, you see this other guy like walking around in chains, like through a blizzard, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
who's this guy? So next
This
morning,
flared my melanin.
Walking.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
No, who flared it is her
his
fucking
daughter.
daughter.
yeah. We'll get to
That
that.
shit
Ooh.
pissed me
Yeah.
off.
We'll get to
that
that.
shit
Yeah.
pissed
She-
me off.
Yeah.
My pro
I want my
black meter went
reparations.
through the
Yeah.
roof. Speaking of roofs.
Hey,
Go ahead.
anyway, so yeah, so there, it's the next morning. Thorfinn is actually, I think he at this point that he's kind of. He's talking with Leif at this point, right? And he's talking with him, and he's just like, like, why did we settle here? Like, why did we get here? And Leif Erikson's just like, well, actually, we all came from Norway. Then this king kind of came into power, and basically was like, you're gonna like kneel to me, or you can get the fuck out. And they were all like, well, let's get the fuck out of here. And they
my
settled.
pops wouldn't just bounce.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, and Thorfinn's just like, yeah, my dad's no coward.
Yeah.
he's not-
Bitch.
and he's just like, all right, we'll go talk to your dad about that shit and see what he says. Meanwhile, back at the house, Thors and his daughter are up on the roof, getting the snow off of it, or else the whole thing could collapse in and be a whole problem. And the daughter's just like, why can't we just get a slave to do this? And very quickly, her prayers are answered because
Yeah.
when she
Which
falls
is
off the roof,
Stupid
Yeah.
bitch. I was so mad when she was like said that. Can we just get a slave to do it? And I was like, how I feel about Thors is how he answered this next question. And she was like, he's like, no, what the fuck?
Yeah.
No. Like, are you
To shovel off
are you
snow off
stupid?
it, like this is how lazy your ass is.
Yeah.
You don't want to do no work. I just can't. I
And
just
her ass
need-
fell right off that goddamn roof. I was like,
that was karma, though.
bitch.
Yeah.
I wish
Nah,
I
she was
wish she
okay.
would've- I wish she would have
No,
broke her
she was
back.
she was
Yeah.
fine.
Well,
I
she was
wish she would've
fine
broke her back,
because
yeah.
her fall was
broken
By the
slave.
by the slave dying in the snow. But they dig him up and they bring him inside and they're trying to warm him up and they find out that
They do like CPR or whatever on him for like,
Yeah.
fucking,
Yeah.
like she's like
Thor,
very-
man.
Long ass.
and he
I'm a
tells
fan of Thor.
yeah,
Oh,
he,
yeah,
he
I'm pro Thor.
wills that man back to life.
Yeah.
He's just like, yeah, I wandered over here, like over the mountains from the other side of Iceland, where I was running from the dude that used to own me. This guy, I think they call him Halfdan or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's like that. Yeah.
And
But the
everybody's
funny thing about Iceland is not like that. Like,
yeah,
maybe
isn't it more like
it's
lush
green?
there?
Green is more. Greenland is the ice, the cold place, and Iceland is the greenery place.
Yep.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out, being from Michigan, and I think you'll appreciate this as well. Every single time any person on this show, which happened multiple times, complained about how cold it was.
Oh my God!
I was like, yes,
I was like,
yes,
yes.
they get it. I feel you. Thank you.
Shoveling the driveway every
Yo,
winter.
she's
I
out
mean-
there like I didn't feel what she said, but I felt the sentiment of saying like, why can't somebody else
Well, I
shovel
felt with
this shit?
Thorfinn, he was just like, of all the places we could have settled, why
Right
did we
here.
pick here?
Yes.
And it's just
Yeah.
like, well, we had nowhere else to go.
You didn't look, did you?
Yeah.
Where else did you look, Dad? Did you go south? You try south?
Hey, I know it's cold because it's cold in LA to me. So yeah, I understand. To y'all, it's not. Well, you ain't seen
I
real
mean,
cold.
same thing in
Yeah.
St. Louis.
You
it
don't.
snows.
You stop talking right now. You don't know what the
You
hell
don't know
cold
that.
is.
You don't know cold.
But yeah, Thorfinn, I felt I said those exact words so many times in my life. Like, why of all the places did we pick here?
Bruh, my whole life.
Every winter. So anyway, so Thorfinn runs in. He's about to be like, "Dad, you're not a bitch, right?" And it turns out he's in the middle of saving this man's life. And while they're finishing that up, and they're like, shit, like if we got to figure what we're gonna do, because if this Halfdan guy shows up, they've apparently had issues with this guy in the past, and they're like, well, if he shows up looking for this guy,
is his name Halfdan? That's a terrible name.
I think it is.
Like they Crips and Bloods over there.
Yeah,
His chains ain't no hoe though.
That shit. He was out here on some Kratos shit.
So when he come, they pretty much come, and he's like, "Yo, my slave is here, bruh.
I know
he's here, and where's he at?" And then they eventually, one of the guys is like,
there's like some bad blood. One of the dudes had his arm. One of the guys from Halfdan's crew had his arm chopped off, and he sees the kid in the crowd that did it, and he's just like, "We can settle this right now."
Yeah,
and
he's like, "Well, you took away my brother's ability to
leg.
walk, bro. Like,
He's
what's
like,
up?"
So there's tit for
What's
tat.
up?
He out here on a pig leg and shit.
Yeah,
and then
like,
Halfdan does some chain work, bro.
Yeah.
Does some
Luke
Wraps up
Cage
his
shit.
own dude.
Yeah,
Wraps up
that's
his own dude.
So
Like,
imagine
why
what
did
he'd
he
do to
do it?
somebody
Why
else.
did he do that again?
because
he
the
just
guy,
got hyped.
he was just like, "Oh, let's do this right now. Like, let's solve this." And he wraps his own dude up and like breaks his face, and he's just like, "We're not here to start problems.
Yeah.
We're just here to get our
his
shit
face.
back."
Which I respect as a leader. It's like, bruh, like you don't get to call shots,
wait,
fam.
Yeah.
Hold on. You respect what he did?
Yeah, because you don't call shots. You don't get to just fight the cats because you want to. You try to start a
I'm
war
just saying,
right
but
now.
you don't feel like he over punished this man? Like he's never gonna look like a regular human being.
Well, you
I
should have
think
thought about
He's
that.
already missing an
He
arm.
was sit-
so
he's-
like he was
He's
already
sending
like,
a message to the rest of his crew.
Exactly. That's what that was.
So
He's
wait, so you're
sending
telling
a
me that?
message.
It's a message.
Wait. So you
Don't
guys are telling me you would have done that?
if I get that chain work like him, absolutely,
100%.
dog. If I get that chain
100%.
work, everybody get that
Because
chain work.
I don't know his
This is a different
backstory.
time. If he doesn't
Yeah.
do that, he might be losing the
Right.
control of
Yeah.
everything.
He could have just beat him in the back like a regular slave ass
No. You got, and I don't know the story.
He could
but
have
I
wrapped
feel
it
like
around his
But
chest.
that
he probably
wasn't a
told
slave,
his
that's
ass
just
that
one of his
before.
dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
there was
even more so a reason that
Exactly.
you don't do that.
Well, that's why that guy was just like, "Kill me, don't send me back."
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like there was conversations had before. It had to be. And if it wasn't, still, that's gangster. And you got to show people what's up. It's
Honestly,
kill or be killed.
I loved it.
I'm
I
never
love-
gonna work for either.
I
of you.
loved it for my enjoyment because as an anime person and when I watch, I'm like, okay.
Wait. But you have employees.
Yeah, of course, 100%.
That's
I'm
it.
just saying in the context.
That's
of
all
this
I know.
world.
I'm not
These are
ripping
different
nobody's
rules.
face off.
I'm just saying, like, it seems like you just like out here just like got to make an example of somebody. You're fucking fired. Like,
Nah, we got rules and regulations. I
I mean, you
even do
came in
that.
here the other day. Like, I just fired somebody.
That is not a real thing.
Wait,
Wait,
that did happen.
Whoa. I don't want to put ICE's work business out there. Like
Yeah.
that's why. That's why. I
That- that
talk
is a
about that.
lie.
Yeah.
Cameras, podcast.
Okay, all right,
Ice
whatever.
is a good guy.
Yeah, I'm great. I don't.
You know, hear what we just talked about?
I
I,
just
would have
put it-
chained these people's faces off. And I'm like, well, in real life, you fired somebody. He's
In
like,
the
that didn't
context
happen.
of the world, not
Right.
saying like
Yeah.
today in 2019
Yeah, it's kill or be
America.
killed.
If you're in his position, right? This is what we're talking about. And if you're him, if you're
Because he's sorry. Go
if you little half dead, right? I'm calling him half dead, like he's a gangster, right? And that particular thing, that's how he rules. It's like, bro,
Yeah.
you step out of line, I'm gonna make an example out of you.
Right.
That's how a lot of cats rule back then.
Yeah.
Oh, you
And-
want
or even now?
Yeah.
people run like
you don't
that.
listen to my instructions. I'm gonna do this, and you see what happens.
Because that's
If
the
you
thing
step out of
too.
line, you won't step out of line, will you?
And that's the thing too is like I'm
Real.
gonna try this guy. If you multiple people keep trying this guy as a leader, somebody gonna get the courage to be like, well, shit, everybody else trying it. Well, fuck it, let's
Roll with
overthrow
fear.
his ass.
I'm not saying
He's
that
leading
he didn't-
killers.
All I'm saying is I'm not saying he didn't deserve some kind of retribution. I just felt like what he got was a little extreme for what he did.
He's still alive.
But Brennan,
Wow.
did it look dope?
No, I mean I'm not mad. I mean,
all
in
that
the
mattered,
show,
baby.
And
In the
also
show, it
too,
was- that matters.
he didn't only put fear in his crew. He put fear in everybody, the other people, because they
Yeah.
was like, "Oh shit!" Because it's like if he gonna do that to his own people, I don't stand a fucking chance. So I think that's what he was too. He was giving a message to their asses like, "If I look what I did to him, you
I
won't
clearly
even
held
have
back.
any."
Yeah, I clearly held back.
Right. So they.
But I'm just saying,
you
you guys
see
are
their
talking
whole
about.
crew
But you
change.
guys are talking about like the reason you're saying is you don't want nobody to rise up against you. I'm just saying if I ever needed inspiration to rise up against somebody, put a chain across my face and rip my face off, I'm probably. Me personally, I wouldn't be like, I'm so scared of him now. I'm like, I don't have a face anymore. I'm gonna kill you. I have nothing less to lose.
I mean, that's true too.
His only mistake was probably not killing that guy.
That's what I'm saying.
Just not taking.
He should have killed him. If you want to rip my face off with a chain,
Oh yeah,
But
revenge-
sometimes some people.
if
in
I
that
can
situ-
still see,
Yeah.
don't go to sleep around me.
I think in
I don't
that-
care what happens to me
in-
after that.
In that situation, he might be so fearful, or he might be glad that he spared him. He might be like, "Damn, I'm glad he didn't kill me, and I still have life on this earth."
If it was me, I would kill him. It might not be tomorrow. It might
and I'm
not
with
be
you.
next week.
And I'm on your side with
and
that
it's probably
too.
gonna be with a crossbow.
I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
But You see the skills, you ain't killing that nigga.
He gonna
and
sleep
got-
somewhere.
I mean, but he got people around him.
Exactly.
He got a security
I'm telling you,
detail.
I would have figured
You
it
see
out.
how deep he
I
rolled
would
up?
spend 10 years plotting how to kill him to make sure he died horribly.
It would be.
I don't care.
It
I'll
would
be
be
patient.
Arrows and
Yeah.
everything.
What
It would be.
that movie
There
with-
would be an arrow.
What was that movie with Gerard Butler? Was it
300?
No. Lullaby. What is it? Citizen?
Oh,
With
yeah.
Jamie Foxx.
Yeah,
When he
yeah.
spent like all that time, he dug out them tunnels. He's like, I'm gonna
yeah.
kill all these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
That movie was wild.
That
That's
was crazy.
I'm
I
with you on
never- I
that,
never
Brennan.
seen
I'm
it.
taking my time. But I'm gonna kill you too.
I mean, but also Gerard Bullet fucking 300. You that the fucking the fucked up guy who betrayed them and told the Persians where they was at and shit. He's like, oh, they was over there.
Hello,
Leonidas.
please, I can hold this shield. Get your punk ass out of here. Man.
He was like, all right, bet. He's like, they giving me bitches and power, so I'm going over there with the Persians. This is where they're at, right there.
All right, I'm sorry, we're veering off way too much. Go ahead, Rob. I'm sorry.
Y'all are
Anyway,
vicious.
so after that all settles, Halfdan's just like, all right, I know where my guy's at. I'm going to Thor's house. So he goes over to his house, and sure enough, there's this guy like laid out on the bed, and he's just like, he's like, you have my property right there in your house. Like, so when are you gonna be giving him back? And he's
You know,
just
you
like,
didn't have to say the word property.
that's what the
That's
guy
what he
says.
said. That's what he said.
I
That's
know.
what the guy says.
I know.
So anyway, so the guy's just like, all right, well, listen, like, what's it gonna take? Like, I'm interested.
Rob is
in
good
making
because
this
I
work.
would have went down there with your ass right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob, you are a magician.
Go ahead, Rob.
I'm trying. Anyway, so he's just like, all right, listen, like, what's the price here? Name your price. I'll give you two sheep.
No,
or
no. He
whatever.
said no. He said that. He's like, how much did you pay for the slave? And he's like, I paid 2 young sheep under the age of 3. And then
And
after
they
that,
eat
he's like, I'll give you 3. I'll give you 3 the same, and you can pick them.
Mm.
And then dude was like, no, I have to make an example of this guy. And then Thor was like, all right, I will give you 8 sheep.
And
Wait,
he's
No, I think
like,
he said 4. And then dude
So
was
that's
like,
what
no.
he about. You showed it. He said you want to make an example. Same thing he did with.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
dude.
So
You wanna
now
make
he's
an
like,
example.
and they gave him 8. And he's like, I'll give you 8. And he's like, okay, cool, I get to pick them.
And his
And then he
daughter
left.
was like, "You about to."
Yeah,
she
his
was like,
daughter
You
was
about to give it up for
torn
this? Nah! That's how I felt. She was like, that was her
She was ready-
response. to
That's
that.
She's
what
ready
she
to
was
drop the
crying
N-word.
and stuff. She was crying after he died. So he ended up dying
Yeah,
shortly
immediately
after.
after,
Yeah,
pretty much.
And then she was crying like, we lost 8 sheep over a person's life.
Yeah.
Who
you
died?
Bitch.
And Thor's, of course, was just like, hopefully you can join us in the promised land in
Yeah.
Vinland someday. Blah
Yeah.
blah blah. It was a nice little sentiment.
Thor was. I'm a huge fan of
I
Thor.
rock
fuck
with
with
Thor.
Thor.
He's a good dude.
Thor's
He's a good
dope.
dude. And at the end of it, he, Thorfinn kind of goes up to him and he finally asks him about, is it true what,
Our ancestors ran away.
and he said, yeah, it is. And he's just like, well, where do we go if we need to run away from here?
No.
And he doesn't really have
Blank
And that was the
stare.
end of the
Yeah.
episode.
No. So episode 2, we see a little bit more of the slice of life here. It starts off with, the kids kind of having that play wartime or whatever.
Mhm.
They're going in, and Thorfinn is
lighting them up.
no, he wasn't.
No,
this
he
No,
point.
he's
he
small.
got the shit kicked out
Yeah,
of him.
He was the
did.
second
He was
person to
dying
die.
in the snow.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
I'm
he's-
sorry. I
He's
meant-
a little piece of shit
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
He
he's
was.
a twerp.
Yep. And then
He's playing with the older kids though.
he was playing with the older kids, but he was catching it. And
I want to be a Thorfinn fan. Okay, leave me alone.
Leif Erikson comes over and he's just like, all right, like you kids are out, like you want to come help me out on the ship or something
Yeah.
like that. So they're packing up to go to Norway, and he's just like, we're trying to get some wine, like some good stuff, practice that communion or whatever.
Which that didn't even make sense. All the stuff that they were trading for wine. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a lopsided ass deal.
I don't think so.
No.
So for me, I was thinking about it in an enterprising way. Like that whole scene, I was really in my mind as an entrepreneur. I was just like, oh, this guy gets it. There's no wine on this island. There's a bunch of these things that I'm going to trade for them. When he gets back, he's just like, yeah, we're going to celebrate Jesus. What he really was about to do is like, everybody here needs to drink the blood of Christ. They have to pay for it.
I didn't see that. Just off his character, I think he was just on some. I'm about to get.
No, I
wasted
think he's about to
shit.
get money. He owns the ship. He's the only one with the ships that could take him anywhere. How do you get that? You know what I'm saying?
Travel.
Like that's all he does is travel and trade. That's what he does.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's what he and Thorfinn even end up talking about, because Thorfinn like is kind of entranced by the ocean. He keeps looking at it there, and he's
Yeah.
telling him like, "You're not like a real warrior like my dad." And he's like, "You don't even know what it's like there out on the sea." Like
He's
Yeah,
like, I fight the sea, bro.
He said, well, take
Which
me.
is
Let's
true.
go, bro.
yeah.
Thorfinn's like, let's roll.
Yeah, let me see it.
Yeah.
And he's just like, no, you don't understand. Like I tried when we were coming back from Vinland, like we got cut up in like ice drifts, and our whole ship got crushed, and we had to walk across the ocean to try to get back. And when I turned around, I was the only one left. He's
It was
like,
like
that's
it was like 6 of them. You said.
yeah, you
That's
lost
so-
everybody.
That is such a sad story.
yeah.
Can you imagine being the one person who survived, like all the people that you went out on a journey with?
They had to
You
eat
slowly watch
ice
each of them
to
die.
curb their hunger, bro.
Yeah.
And he probably. I mean, I
You
guess
might
they
have ate
didn't-
them. That's what I was
just
thinking.
about to say.
Could've
yeah.
been.
Ate them.
That
Well,
happened.
yeah. Hey, that's real stories where they really.
Oh
did
yeah,
that.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah,
A
Donner
lot of times,
Party and all
especially
that. Ooh.
especially with overseas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so But while they're finishing up that conversation, Leif Erikson kind of calmly just goes like, "Hey, Thorfinn, why don't you go up and tell your dad there's a warship here?" And as they're looking out at the horizon, they're seeing this
See a
big
giant warship.
Viking warship
That
coming
dude
in.
looks pretty cool. That's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's Floki,
Floki's
his
back.
Thor's
Thor
old guy
and
back then.
Floki.
But
Yeah.
he's got the scar down his face now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's seen some shit since that
Got
time.
some Kakashi shit going on.
I'm just saying the names Thor and Floki.
I think we stated
We
that
already-
earlier.
we
Yeah,
already-
did that
where
already.
were
I'm
you
still
at?
on it though. I'm still on it. Just Thor and Floki.
You missed that
Brennan.
whole 5
I was
minute
there.
stretch.
I
That
know,
was
I'm
like
just repeating it.
25 minutes
I'm
ago,
not
bro.
saying y'all didn't do it. It just still
That
kills
was
me. The name
at
Floki
least
kills me.
25 minutes ago.
Please
Right.
continue.
So anyway,
Gosh, we were trying to.
I don't like any of you.
so they roll up and they're just like, "Hey, we're looking for Thors." And Thors comes up and he's just like, "Oh, it's the Joms Vikings is what they
Yeah.
call them." And they're like, this feared band of Vikings from out on the sea that nobody could get them to answer to.
They
to
some
them.
hard dudes, man.
It
Yeah,
looked tough,
those are
man.
straight killers.
Yeah.
These are killers.
They were bowing to him.
Yeah.
It was
And-
like, why are they bowing to you?
Mhm.
He was like,
Well, it turns out Thors is the troll
Yeah.
of Norway or
He was
something
the
like that.
general of the whole army, though, right?
Yeah, that's what they
Yeah.
came. Yeah, he was the captain.
Yeah.
Mm. And they even came to him. They was like, they keep saying something about a troll, and he was like, oh shit.
Yeah, he's like, oh no, they found me.
He's like, listen, man, that's not even me anymore. I quit drinking. Like, I don't do that kind of shit anymore.
Chilling, bro. We out here,
And-
family.
And so Floki and Thor sit down like after all this time, and it's awkward.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
awkward, because I mean, you got to expect back in this day, he's a deserter of that
Yeah.
army, and it turns out he's just
Yeah.
like, yeah, I faked my death. Like in that moment, that opening scene that we saw him in, he's faking his death and leaving it all behind so he
Yeah.
can be with his family and not have to.
But how did
After
they
killing
exactly-
all the
But
enemies.
how did
though,
they
it's like-
exactly
yeah.
know that though? How did they know he didn't get injured and then he was left for dead?
Yeah.
And then he just
Somebody probably saw
They
him.
must have for that
Yeah.
long, and
Yeah.
then like you were saying, yeah, somebody maybe came across him and was just like, dude, we saw this huge dude over in Iceland.
Yeah.
They're like, you know who that fucking sounds like?
Yeah.
But even still, like if I guess that was my only issue with this was like, how do you know Thor didn't get hurt? He got hurt, got injured. Swam. Remember, he raised up. He was on shore,
Yeah.
and then after that, they were just like, he didn't go back, but he's just like, bro, like I'm here, like I'm just like I'm resting here. I had to rest up a little bit,
Yeah.
and I don't see why the. All right, go ahead.
You don't see why what?
Because the story goes on and stuff starts to happen. But what I'm saying is, it's like, I wouldn't be that upset. Like, yo, like you abandoned us. It's like, bro, like I would assume that he would have got hurt and he just washed up on shore somewhere. I guess I wouldn't assume that he.
I think I know what the vital mistake he made is, because it's a stupid mistake. Anybody want to take a guess? The biggest mistake that Thor made, that why he got caught. He didn't change his fucking name.
That's definitely part of it. He stayed with the same name.
Yeah,
Oh, was big
yeah.
guy? Yeah, big guy. Finally, yeah. Did you hear his name? His name was Thor. Like, oh
Yeah,
well, that's him.
That's it.
Yeah, let's go. Like,
But I mean, desertion in any army, like even today, like it's a big deal.
It's a
Like,
big
that,
deal.
That dude Bo Bergdahl.
Berg-
that-
change your
Bergdahl,
name,
yeah,
change
yeah,
your name, change
yeah.
your name, change your name.
Even though, I mean, that's a whole.
he
nother
spent like
story.
years in
Yeah.
ice or
in the prison. He
in
was
the
a
prison.
POW. Yeah.
and it's
In
still
Af-
they
in
threw his ass in
Afghanistan.
jail when he got back.
Yeah, he got court-martialed.
Yeah.
You
But
should have
That whole thing. No, I don't. That's a whole nother.
That's a
story.
whole thing.
That's
It's a whole thing.
Other thing.
Anyway, so
I'm gonna retract my statement out of ignorance.
Yeah,
but
man.
continue.
Because
That's why I didn't say shit.
You was going to
I
have
just
people
straight
in the
LeBron
comments like,
James that shit. Like,
Yeah.
but did you know the research? I'm like, actually, I do not know the research.
Yeah.
Everybody,
I had no idea.
I
I
stayed
spoke-
silent 'cause I was like, I don't know what the fuck's happening
Yeah.
right now.
I've heard of this story before. I
Yeah.
didn't. I heard deserter and court martial. Then it clicked, and I was just like, oh wait, I have heard this story.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I
it's
take
a
it
whole
back.
thing. That
Yeah.
guy is he's a piece of
I'm
work.
with Brennan. He retracted his statement. Did not come for him.
I don't know enough to comment on it.
Yeah.
I apologize, everyone.
So anyway, because I mean, desertion nowadays back then is even worse, because they're just like, this is our leader and you fucking abandon us. Like that carries a sentence,
Yeah.
to keep other people from leaving. It's like you can't if your army is like you have to keep your army more afraid of running away than they are of facing the enemy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're like, they have to kill this dude. He's like, but. Actually, I'm sorry. What I skipped over is this episode starts off with we see this like Viking village in England getting absolutely destroyed and burned to the ground by a bunch of English people.
Yeah, they're well, hey man, I ain't gonna lie, man. Motherfuckers deserved it. Why y'all out here bathing together, bro?
Yeah,
It was like 75 of y'all hot springing it. Hey man, we rub your back for you, dog. You vulnerable. You can't be vulnerable. Like that's the last thing. You can't bathe in the
I have
open.
so many problems with what Keenan just said.
That's why I'm not.
Keenan, I have so
I don't know
many-
about deserved it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
I'm not saying in that sense.
That's a literal Viking commercial. Like it's their cultural thing. It's just what they do.
No, and I didn't mean like that. So don't take, don't take
I
with the
know, I know.
bullshit.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, it's like
That was like the most
you left.
homophobic
You left.
statement.
You left. If I'm cleaning up now, you left
Please.
yourself too vulnerable.
Yeah.
I think
You
the
don't-
fact that what fucked them up is they did it on Saturdays. Like everybody knew that you did it on Saturdays. At
Switch
least
it
switch
up.
it up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my
At
thing. It's
least
like
we know where you're gonna be every Saturday.
or everybody at the same time. Like you guys can't like bathe in
But-
shifts or
right.
something.
Or
Like
somebody
you bathe in
keep
fours,
guard.
or bathe in threes. You have a few guys guarding, always guarding because you know cats are coming after
Hey
you.
man, those some clean dead bodies though.
they were
Were they?
sparkling clean.
Sparkling clean, bro. They waited. Them English waited until they like, oh, almost done. Cool.
Oh yeah, he's
We leaving. You got
he
clean
just-
underwear.
I
He
gotta
just watched
clean
that because
bodies.
I ain't about to kill nobody with no
Yeah.
funky ass.
Go ahead, loof that shit up.
And
real
washing once a week.
Yeah.
I mean, were they
some
clean?
stink ass motherfuckers.
Back in the day, like that's the thing. Like I watching all these period pieces. Sometimes I'm just like, man, everybody must have smelled terrible.
They smell like
Oh, yeah.
straight.
Yeah.
Men and
ass.
women and
They-
children. Just
They just
funky.
just out there smelling like hobo dick.
Well, they smell bad to us, but like if that's how people smelled, they didn't
Oh,
smell.
Karen
They
with
was- they was
the
nose
beautiful
blind.
musk smell. Oh my
Yeah.
god, your
and then
armpits smell
sex after.
incredible.
Yeah. so after that massacre,
Bitches.
basically one of the people that was killed, one of the women that was killed was like the sister of this king of Denmark.
Yeah.
And so he's just like, all right, fuck all that. Like, fuck the English. I'm getting all my people together. And so like,
I got my people with
and then we're going to go into England and kill them all, basically. And so that's when Floki shows up and he's just like, listen, we normally should kill you,
Yeah.
but like we need everybody right now. And
since you my dog.
we go way back.
Yeah.
So, just assemble an army out of the people you got here and join us in this war with the English. And if you don't, I got all my people out in this village right now.
They're gonna
and
kill
we can do
everybody.
this right now.
They're gonna be everywhere.
And so
I think like it's just so because I mean like this is so Tarantino. Like a lot of this stuff, I wonder if Tarantino has any influences on him. But like a lot of the stuff that he do is like that's an Inglourious Bastards like type moment that he had right there and stuff like.
But do you? I wasn't even in fear of that. I mean, I understand he did it for the village, but I was like, I just saw what Thors can do.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Thor's only weakness is his heart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
nobody could defeat him.
But that's the thing. Thors can do that. His people can't.
And there's no
Exactly.
way he's getting through
Right.
all of them.
that's
before
my
they
point.
kill,
They're
like,
all
a few
gonna die.
bits.
Like
Yeah,
he can.
yeah.
He's gonna win the fight,
Yeah.
but he's gonna lose the war.
Who's gonna be
Which
left?
It's just gonna be him.
Which
True.
is kind of forced. You just
True.
ruined everything.
Did
Just
I?
ruined
Yeah,
everything.
You just ruined the rest of the episode.
Oh,
No,
well,
it's all-
that's your opinion. I'm gonna thank you for that.
So as they're getting ready to leave, Floki's just like, all right, we got what we came here for. Like, everybody back on the ship. We're going. And all the young guys in town are just like, yeah, we're going to war. And Thor's is just like, like
You
these
ain't
guys
even
are-
been to
Y'all
war yet.
don't
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
war.
That's like on
Exactly.
Barry when they was getting ready and he was teaching them how to shoot and stuff, and he was
Yeah.
like, "You guys fucking suck.
Yeah. You're terrible.
You guys are terrible."
I'm trying to think. There's a movie where somebody was like, "The only reason you get excited about war is because you don't know war. Have
Oh,
you ever
that's
killed a man?"
Gotta be,
Was that like? It feels like it was Troy or like Gladiator or something like that. It's like one of those movies. Like the only like, have you ever
Yeah.
killed a man? It's like then you don't know. Like you don't know what this
Because
is.
one
about.
kid was
No,
just
that was
extra
Troy.
excited.
That was
Yeah.
Hector talking to his younger brother in
Yeah.
Troy because he's like, I'll die for my love. He's like, you don't know what to die is. You don't know what to live is. You don't know what love is.
Yeah.
It's like that's
He
how I
ain't
felt
been
about
out
this
here
kid.
in these sands.
But that's the thing. That one cat was like, yo, he was ready for war. He was super excited. One particular guy, I forgot his name.
Ari.
Yeah. And I'm just like, all right, bro, he gonna be the first to die.
gonna
That's
be
what
there.
I was
Yeah.
thinking too. I'm like, this
He
guy
already
actually
has
has
actually
it
a
cut
gun.
somebody, or he got cut. One of the two.
He was
got-
the dude that cut that dude's arm
Yeah.
off, the chain face
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's out here a
He's
little
not
bit.
kill
but-
nobody.
So he's cocky. That's what it is.
Yeah.
He cut somebody. He cut an old dude arm off. He think
He won
out
one
here.
fight. Yeah.
He doesn't even know how to finish a fight.
No.
I mean, real.
So they're all getting, they're getting their stuff together. Meanwhile, the kids they're still playing their war games, but Thorfinn is taking this to another level at this point. He knows what's
This
going
is
on.
what I was talking about.
He
earlier.
doesn't want to get left behind. He's just seeing all these other kids or these older guys coming out with like their family army. He knows the kind of warrior his dad used to be, and at this point he does
Yeah,
now.
now he
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
And he's just like, well, I got to do my part too. And he's out here like whooping ass
He
on these
whooped
kids.
And he's already dead.
He broke a kid's arm. Didn't
Yeah, he broke a kid's
Yeah.
arm. Like they're just like, no, Thorfinn, you're dead. He's like, I'm not dead. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep fighting.
Yeah.
And they're
Definitely.
just. I mean, I get that. That's kind of like war. It's just like there are no rules. If you
Yeah.
can keep fighting, you keep fighting.
At this, when I saw this, even though I still mess with Thorfinn, but I was like, he's a little shit.
Yeah, like
He's
you.
a
a-
shit.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he's 6 years old, man.
And the kids like
Yeah.
they run to Thors, who's he's a blacksmith. That's what he's trying to do in this peacetime. And he sets the kid's arm, and he's just like, all right,
Don't tell him.
I gotta go talk to my piece of shit kid right now.
He was like, God, he's like, Thorfinn did this?
Oh,
Oh,
man.
Out of
He was
all
hyping it up
kids-
too, like, who the fuck did this bullshit? Like, somebody need to watch their damn kids.
Yeah,
And
it's
he's
like,
like,
oh, your
Your
son.
kid.
oh, shit.
Let me go ahead and put some extra ointment on this
Right.
for you.
Sorry about that.
So
What kind of parents are these out here?
So he goes back home and he finds Thorfinn like digging through his old like army stuff which I'm just like, how did he get all that? Like, because if he faked his death, like his armor and all that, like
He wouldn't have it.
I mean, I
wouldn't
guess
have
since
it.
he's a blacksmith, maybe he remade it.
he made it, but why would if he's leaving that?
Yeah,
life
if he just
behind?
he just got
I
one
mean,
memento.
always be prepared, I guess.
I guess.
Or maybe that's I don't know.
He's just
Yeah.
keepsake at the
I think
middle of the night.
I think he's a very smart guy, and I think he was just like,
Just in
eventually they're gonna come. Eventually somebody's gonna come after me.
Yeah.
So I gotta be ready if some shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about it.
But he finds Thorfinn, holding this dagger, which is big enough to be a sword for him, and he's just like, "Oh, you want a sword? Like, what are you gonna do with it?" And he's like, "I'm gonna kill my enemies." Like, who are your enemies? And he's
Right.
like,
And he grabbed the sword
Grabbed
by
the sword
the
with
yeah.
blade.
yeah, Thor's is bleeding at this point,
Yeah.
and he's just like,
Stupid move.
I
That was
love
dumb.
Thors, man.
That was
Yeah.
dope, but that was fucking stupid.
I think it was stupid, but he's also just like, this is what swords do.
Yeah.
No, the reason why it's done to me, because this brings back, this is a quick tangent, but it brought back a little thing that actually happened to me when these two cats, I won't say his name, but when I was younger, this cat had a sword, and he got beat up by one of my friends, and he came out with his sword. It was like, I'll fucking kill you!
Oh my God.
And we were like, this motherfucker has a sword. Like,
Yeah,
of
that
all
shit-
things, he has a fucking
that
sword.
yeah.
So, like, my boy, who's another neighbor of mine, he just walked up to him and was like, you can't kill him, man. You can't do this. He's like, I'm going to fucking do it. And he grabs it by the blade like this. Like, literally grabs it just how Thors grabs it. And I'm just looking at I'm like, his finger's about to come off. He about to, if this dude pulls back, his fingers are, this is a real life
sword.
samurai sword that he
Yeah.
had. He's losing all his fingers.
Mm.
And I never forgot that moment in my life. And
Did
that
he
made
pull
me,
it back?
he didn't, but his hand was like sliced up
Shit.
afterwards.
Did you beat the shit out of that kid with the sword afterwards?
He put the sword back down and went 1-on-1 again and got smoked.
Of course.
he got thrown against my dad's van and broke the
sliding door?
face of my dad's van. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Your dad had a van?
I'll say
They had
this,
a
we used to have
minivan.
we had an ice cream truck as a kid that would come to our neighborhood up until I was like 11 or 12 years old, and one kid decided to put on a Power Ranger suit and try to rob it with a pair of nunchucks.
Hilarious.
No
Oh
more
my
ice cream truck.
God.
They never came back to our neighborhood.
No.
I grew up in like a
Oh,
predominantly
man.
white like area, but my neighborhood I grew up in was black,
Mm.
and so it was just like we were like they
Some
used to
nunchucks?
call us
One
like,
little kid out there with nunchucks, and
He
that
knew
guy
how to
just
use
like,
them?
he was special.
Oh.
I
Hey,
would let's put it this way, he
special
was
people
he was
got
special,
strength.
but he was also extremely athletic.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
like I don't know if
Okay.
he knew how to use them, but I know he used to be in the front yard practicing them all the time.
All right.
So
Per-
like he
practice
put on
makes
a
perfect.
full, I think he was a full Red Ranger
Oh,
costume,
shit, you not
and then
even
like
the
chased
lead.
after
How
the ice cream
old?
truck. I was 11, so he's probably like 12 or 13.
Oh.
Man, y'all better. Special needs people are fucking strong.
Yeah, well he ended up in prison. So
Damn.
like, long
Well,
story short, he ended up in prison. for-
Nunchaku related crime, or like,
he ended up doing some like statutory.
Oh, shit.
So what
Yeah.
happened?
Oh no, we're not repeating that.
Never mind.
I missed it. What
He was
happened?
on his R. Kelly.
Oh,
We're gonna
damn.
go ahead and switch back to the show now. So
Thorfinn.
Thorfinn, he's just like, no, I don't know who my enemies are. Maybe Halfdan or something, Dad. And he's just like, man, like you don't. He's like, you don't have any enemies. You are a child. Like you don't have any enemies out there. So. Meanwhile, back in this other colony, we got Floki is talking with this other, like, they've got this whole like this other colony, like this bunch of like Viking people, like they're terrorizing this I guess it's just a Christian town. Like, I don't know where this is. Maybe it's back in England or whatever. But they got all these like people like tied up or whatever. They're throwing like axes at the priests and stuff like that. And Floki's holding counsel with this dude, Askeladd or something like that. And he's just like, yeah, so Thors is coming with a bunch of guys. They're going to land here. I want you guys to trap them. And if you bring me Thor's head, like, there's 5 pounds of gold in it for you. Yeah. And that's kind of where that episode ends up. But
But then he was like, damn, you going to do that to your own man? It's like, that used to
No,
be
that
your
whole
man.
scene was amazing though, because like they had this negotiation in this hut, and
Yeah.
the guys like they were so laissez-faire, and the guys.
Before even that, he's telling him like, "Yo, why don't you do it yourself?
Yeah, that's usually when that's how it goes. Like,
You want to
you
kill
want your
someone-
man, you went all the way out there and you didn't kill him? Like,
yeah,
what's wrong with
what's
you?
up with that?
And
So,
my man-
so clearly he's a fucking beast at some point.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
go ahead. With the,
No, I was gonna say, so the guy who's negotiating, trying to get to take Thor's head, is like, he's asking those really good questions, and he's like, you know what, screw it, give me 5 now, and then 5 when I bring the head back. And then the other guy's like, do you think like, he pretty much like, who you think you are? Like, do you think you're in a position to negotiate with me? And then out of nowhere, a spear goes right between them, perfectly thrown spear, and just lands right into the wall in between them. And the guy, the
What's
guy,
his name again?
It was like Bjork or something, or Bjorn
Bjork or
or
something.
something.
Yeah, he doesn't even
The guy
flinch.
that threw the spear.
No,
Yeah.
I'm saying the guy that was sitting there.
I think it's Askeladd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He sat there, didn't
Didn't even
budge.
flinch. He's just like the guy who's like you think what you're doing. His eyes got widened, and it's like bam, like his eyes widened. And I was like, why did his eyes widen? And they showed afterwards, it's like my man had a man behind the wall, like hidden in there, and that was why he felt he could negotiate with the guy, because he was like gonna threaten him with this guy that was there.
Yeah.
And instead, his people knew they were there. He knew he was there the whole time and killed him with a spear.
Askeladd's a
Yeah.
smart dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just-
yeah.
Because after that spear goes into the wall, he's just like, all right, 5 now, 5 later sounds good. Yeah,
Yep.
all right.
He's like, yeah, that's what I thought.
And Askeladd heads out of there, like dumps over the wine. He's like, all right, y'all drank too much. Let's get on the boat and go.
And you see the one guy jump down and like sip the wine
Yeah,
off the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't want to let any hit the ground. So
It was for all the homies, man.
Yeah.
He
So-
really thought he had that spirit thing in the bag. He was like, yeah, this spirit about to fuck him up.
Yeah.
And it didn't.
so they're taking off, and so Floki's just like, yeah, I guess he's a killer just like advertised. So hopefully he can take on Thors and all that. But
He even said too, he was like, when he's asking questions, he's like, bro, just don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to. Like,
Yeah.
I'm real out here. Like, don't you dare think that I'm not real in these streets.
yeah, he's like, I'll get it done.
Yeah.
You're might not like how I do it, but it'll get done.
Yeah.
So back in Thors' village, the people are all getting ready to go.
Everybody's excited for war for some reason.
They've only got like the 5 young men that are going to go.
But the whole town is like, yeah, war.
But they're getting
Yeah.
excited. It's like it reminded me of like that World War II thing when just everybody was so excited to sign up, or even World War I. It was just like
Yeah.
we're like joining up for this great cause. Like, but like when people found out what the fuck it really was, just
Yeah.
like, nah, you know what? Like it's
I just
that
imagine
kinda-
myself back during those times. Like, yo, man, everybody sign up. You should sign up too, Brennan. Like, yeah, sure, I'll be right there.
The fuck?
Yeah.
No. Like, I'm going to have all the jobs because y'all leaving.
And
you
it's
know what's
well
crazy?
And all the
documented-
women.
Like, it's been well documented what war is,
But-
even before World War I.
Yeah, true. But like even during World War I, like I remember reading about this. Like in England, like women would go around and like harass men that were like young men. They're like, "Why aren't you in the army?" Like there was like whole like groups and like clubs of women that their whole job was to like harass men until they signed up to join the army.
Damn.
I'd have been fine. I'd have been like, cool.
Hold on.
You got.
Yeah. It's true.
Ah.
But they
Killer
have
Cam with the
history.
bars.
They had
Wait, just for
history
the record, if
books
you
at
guys
least.
couldn't hear it, Cameron said that it wasn't public what wars were. Back in the day, they didn't have the internet. pretty
Yeah.
much.
But they had like books though.
No, but you
Yeah.
wasn't know the savagery that was going on. Like, remember, like we started watching scenes like Vietnam stuff. Like, there was like a lot of rape going on. There's a lot of like
Lot of rape.
slaughter going on.
Yeah,
It was
that
real
whole
crazy.
Vietnam was.
Yeah. So
They had no business over there.
No, that's another whole.
That's
thing.
That's
whole
a
thing.
whole.
Whole other
We've
ball.
had so
Yo,
many
this
like
is-
whole
Oh, yeah.
things. Like,
Today has
Just have
been.
a-
This
just have-
episode
we can
is
make a
deep,
whole
y'all.
podcast
It
off
is
of
deep.
that.
This episode is heavy, y'all. Like
Yeah.
we hitting some real topics.
That's-
today.
Yeah.
And that's why we the greatest fucking anime podcast in the world.
Why you look me in the eyes when you say it?
Because you are the root of some of this foolishness.
All right, well,
that
you
we-
know. Why would you bring that back?
we were past
Help
it.
us, Rob. Get us back on
Anyway.
track,
Yeah.
please.
So they're all getting ready to go, but like you know, they got all these young men like lined up outside of Thors' front door, but it's not to like get good with their captain before they head out. It's because they all want to ask his daughter to marry them like before they go.
Which I totally forgot.
yeah.
Thors was
fucking-
cool. Thors was cool with Ari just like hollering at his girl and talking about it. No, creepy Lynn.
yes.
Yeah, he was hollering at her like, "You want me to
he
keep
was
you
all
warm
like,
tonight?"
"You want
right
me
in
to
front of
keep you
Thors.
warm?" I said, "Joe,
Thors should have been like, "Soup, soup, soup."
I was like, what is? I thought that was Thor's daughter, but he wouldn't.
Yep,
just
Thor's
let
daughter,
that
right in front of him.
pass.
Zero fucks given.
And then we skip over the part when he first had his daughter. We skipped over that, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, because that
no,
comes
it
in a little
up.
bit later
It comes up.
because they're on the
okay.
boat. So like
Yeah.
all that happens. Thors is about to leave. He's saying goodbye to his family, but he can't find Thorfinn anywhere.
I
And
knew
he's-
exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And of course, we at this
We
point
all
you're just
knew,
like
yeah.
we know where he is.
Yeah.
And he's just like, all right. He tells his wife Helga, he's just like, you know, whenever he shows back up, he's probably
Tell
hiding
him.
because he's upset. You know, he can't even get it out. He's just
Bruh,
like, you
it's
know,
so crazy how even still to this day how men are with their son. Which is so sad that we can't say. Like me and my dad, it took us years to like hug and say, "Man, I really love you, man," for years
Yeah.
until I was like
Yeah.
older.
Yeah.
He was like, "Tell him, you know what I'm saying, you know, shit."
If I have a son,
You know
I'm
what
gonna
I'm
be,
saying?
And he-
I'm
and his
gonna
wife's
be
like, yeah,
emotional to the
I
mother.
got it.
Yeah, I get what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm
I
like,
got it.
son, I love you.
Oh,
Yo,
I
you
am
guys
too.
have to
Yeah,
meet
yeah.
Rob's dad.
Oh man, he gushes. He's listening to the podcast now too. He's just like,
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he's just like,
Yeah.
oh, listen to the podcast.
Yo, shout
Feels
out to
like-
Harvey.
Yeah.
My #1 Instagram follower. Thank you, Harvey, for all the love. I love
you a
you.
junior?
Feed. I'm
Yeah.
a third.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harvey the third. But yes, Harvey the second, Rob's father, is the truth. We went and had lunch with him and his wife, and Rob's mom is amazing as well. And I had a great time. I'm just gonna.
I heard he put you on blast.
He did.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, because my parents came to visit on Friday, and
Oh,
like,
we don't gotta go there.
it was
We
this
gotta-
whole thing where Brendan
I
was
was
like,
just
"Oh, I'm gonna
complimenting.
be there,
Just
and I'm gonna be
complimenting.
there." I'm just
No.
like, "I'm gonna."
This is an
Don't worry,
anime.
guys. I'm gonna show up. Like, I want to meet your parents. I'm like,
Hey, guys,
all right,
this
cool.
is an anime.
We moved all this stuff around,
Yeah.
trying to make sure my parents were here and Brendan was here. Guess who doesn't show up?
Wow.
You pulled the ice?
Ooh, wow.
Wait, I
he
showed
showed
up.
I actually showed
ice.
up late, actually.
Yeah.
I should have been
I-
worse
I-
than ice.
I
That's
was
worse
there.
than ice.
Brendan didn't show up at all.
I showed-
Yeah, that's
I
worse
showed
than
up-
ice, actually.
You pulled a Brennan because your ass don't be showing up.
I don't. First of all, I don't understand his motivation for doing this right now.
Wow,
Like,
no,
I literally
really.
just gave
That's
his father
for that-
compliments.
Yeah, no, it was all good. And later on, like he did go out. He was just like, "What can I do? What can I do to just hang out with your
No,
parents?"
the thing is,
while-
I got
while they're
trapped in
here?"
a meeting. That's what happened. I got trapped, and I did come, and I showed up. I was just late. I
So
did
somebody
ice that
put you
shit.
in a four leg lock and you couldn't get
Oh,
out.
yeah, very much so. Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I respected that. Did you give him the heads up?
Yeah, I texted. I was texting with Tony though. They knew.
Okay.
They knew where
We
I
knew,
was.
we knew.
Okay.
Anyway.
So I wasn't just not. I just didn't just
No,
disappear.
and you
say,
did.
"Screw it."
You came out to lunch with us. It was a very nice time. You
Yeah.
guys did try to prank me because I was showing up late, and you were
Yeah,
just
you
like,
were late.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Oh,
I saw that.
Rob
Oh.
was late?
Yeah, Rob was
You
very
pulled
late.
an ice?
I did.
He told us to be there at noon. He didn't show up till like 12:17.
Yikes. What were you doing?
What time did you show up? I put it on Instagram.
He was working on the new
That's
season
true.
of Overlord.
That's what it was.
I
That's
literally
what it was?
have a
That's
video.
what it was.
I have a video of how late
Trying
you were.
to
Don't give me
bring
that face. I
What
put a
is- what does-
timestamp on the video.
No,
What
I'm
does
trying to-
Rob even do when he's late? Like,
He didn't give a shit. He just stared me down. Literally walked in,
Because that was the
stared me
thing. Is
down.
like I felt bad, and then Brendan was texting me like, "Oh man, like I'm not gonna be able to make it to lunch because they're trying to get one over on me." And as I'm looking for parking with Andrea, we're looking for parking. I'm like, "That looks like Brendan's car."
I have
and
a
then
very
like I
unique
call my
car.
dad and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Hey, sorry, we're just looking for parking right now. Like I'm gonna be a little bit late. Like, but it sounds like Brendan's not even gonna show up." And he's just like, "Oh yeah, I don't know what's going on with
He's
Brendan. I
such a
don't know
bad
where
liar.
he is."
Yeah.
His
I was
dad
like,
is
"What do you
such a
mean you
bad
don't know where
liar.
Brendan is?" And he's just like, "Yeah, there could be a lot of things going on." And I'm like, "All right, cool." And I hang up and I look at Andrea. I'm like, "Brendan's already there."
And then he texted me like, "You're already there, aren't you?" I'm just like, "Shut up."
I don't know what you're talking about. So when I walked in, that's why I was giving you guys the eyes because I'm like, this is my dad. All like my dad is
His
written
dad
all
is
over this.
awesome. Like last thing about his dad. Last thing before we get back on. Like my first impression with him is we walk into this restaurant. We're like, "What's up? What's cool?" We sit down at the table. The waitress comes up. She's like, "Hi, how can I help you guys today?" And he looks up at her and is like, "What's your favorite color?" And I was like, "I'm gonna love this guy forever. I'm gonna love this guy
Did you, get that on,
forever."
did you get that on tape too?
No, I didn't. I didn't know that was coming. How was I supposed to know? Like
Oh,
we're
you,
just
told, you told me that. You told me that.
yeah. It was like he
Yeah,
just
yeah.
looked up. Was like, "What's your favorite color?" I was like, "He's everything."
But
Like,
that's my dad. I say he's Buddy the Elf. He's like
Yeah.
Hal from Malcolm in the Middle meets Buddy the Elf.
yo,
That's
that's a
so
really
cool.
good. That
That
is
is-
exactly
that's
who he
those
is.
two people
His
together.
dad is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he's
That's
great. I
true.
love my dad. My mom's great as
Yes.
well. I love
Oh,
her too.
he has a mom.
I do.
no,
have my
she's
mom.
amazing. She's loving and sweet, but it's just like his dad is just so much energy
Yeah.
that she's like, I give her like, I feel like she has to be extremely patient.
She's the adult. in
yeah,
the
she's
entire
definitely
family.
the adult. There's no question.
Yeah, she's absolutely.
Yes, mad
And he'd be
respect.
the first to say that. He's
Yeah.
got all that shit that's like, I'll never grow up on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the show.
Fuck.
Hey
Back
man,
to the
everybody likes
show.
to learn about you, Rob. Everybody, you're
whatever.
everybody's favorite.
Nah, that's not true.
This is true.
Anyway, so
Keenan, is he not everyone's favorite?
It's not.
This is
Everybody's got their own favorites.
Except
I know
for-
everybody's
I think
favorite.
it's-
Except for you, Keith. You're my homie.
I think it's evenly spread.
It's
almost.
even. Everybody's
Yeah.
got. It's
They're
spread
like
out.
they
The
like.
4 Ninja Turtles right
Shout out
here.
to
You know,
Keith.
it's like everybody's got their favorite.
Mm.
So so he's telling his wife, when Thorfinn shows back up, tell him that thing, and she's like, yeah, I know, it's cool. So they get on.
Love.
They're getting on the boat. They're taking off. It's like all these kids are like all on one side of the boat, and then you've just got Thor on the other side, just like
One.
doing all the rowing for
Such a
like 5
boss.
dudes.
Yeah.
And Leif Erikson and his like trading crew are coming along with him because what they tell another girl who's just like, oh, like all these boys are leaving. He's like, don't worry, like they're gonna be right back. They're not going. Like
Yeah.
Thors is gonna drop them off in Norway. We're gonna do some trading. I'm gonna come back with all of them. And she's like, well, does that mean Thors is gonna go off to the battlefield by himself? So at this point, it seems like Thors kind of knows his numbers up.
Yep.
Yeah.
He
and
knew.
he's like, all right, I'm just gonna show up, and if I make it back, I'm great. But if I don't,
It is
I'm
what it
probably
is.
not gonna.
Yeah.
So they set off, and when they get finally off to shore, and he's just like, wow, it's like we're out of open ocean. And he's just like, oh, it's too late to turn back now. And then there's a voice from the barrel just like, oh, it's too late to turn back. And
Right.
Thorfinn pops right out. And
Yeah.
he's like, 'cause I gotta piss.
Yeah.
He immediately took a piss, which was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
But then, of course, and Thors is like, he kind of smiles, but then he's like, but I got to beat the shit out of him and just
Yeah.
like puts him over.
Spanks him
Yeah,
in front of
spanks him.
everybody.
He deserved it.
He did.
Yeah.
He deserved more than that.
He had to make an
Yeah.
example out of him, Brennan.
He did.
Right, an example.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I
Like,
would've-
then when he gave him that irreparable damage to his face, that was horrible. You know. Yeah.
Example.
So, so as they're out there, on the high seas, and that night, he's talking with Ari, the guy's name or whatever, and he's kind of talking like, oh yeah, like I kind of like your daughter, and he's like, she likes strong men, blah blah blah, and he's like,
Oh, she don't like you.
she's basically saying, yeah, like,
Yeah.
You ain't the one, bruh.
not you. So, but he's telling him like, you better look out, because like when I had kids, he's like, oh, you want kids someday, you want a family? He's like, yeah, and he's like, when I had kids, that's when I wanted to leave this life behind.
That's the first
Yeah.
time I got scared.
Yeah,
Yeah.
scared on the battlefield. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, I have things to be responsible for.
And
Yeah.
that's when they went to the flashback of the name and stuff.
Yeah. And
Oh yeah, they had it. Yo, it was so disrespectful. The way he even held his daughter was like, yo, man.
one hand.
What is this thing?
Head
He
flopping
said, yo,
all
give me
over.
a boy. That's what the leader wants. All right, here you go.
Mm.
You gotta protect this neck. Yeah, whatever,
Yeah,
man.
fuck his name.
Name
Her
the
neck.
baby.
Her neck.
Her
neck, yeah.
Protect
Name
your
the
neck.
baby. He was like, then I thought about my mother, and that's when it came to me.
And
Yeah,
then
because
that's
she
the moment
pressed
it all
him.
hit
Like
him.
she was like, that's the only time that his wife ever got angry with
Yeah.
him. Was like, you're gonna name this fucking baby. I did
Yeah.
all this goddamn work
Yeah.
for 9 months. You can't even give me a fucking name. Give me a name.
All right.
Well, also, and this is probably another reason why there's like so dead set on killing him, is we find out that Thor's wife is like the daughter of the chieftain of like their tribe or whatever, their
Yeah.
leader,
Yeah.
their king or whoever. So basically, Thor's basically took off with the heir to that tribe, more or
Yeah.
less. Could be, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
Thorfinn could very well possibly be in like running for the leadership, and
Yeah.
he's now gone.
Mm.
So anyway, we find out that all that, and they're just about to get to their trading post the next morning, and as they're getting close, Thor's is just like, something isn't right here.
Yeah.
Mm.
He's like, or no, it's Leaf actually.
Yeah, Leaf
Yeah.
was like,
Leaf
he's like,
could-
something's wrong. It's too few houses.
Yeah.
There's something wrong. It's too quiet. Too few houses.
And they're
Yeah.
noticing like all these rocks starting to like fall off the cliff sides that are on either side of him, and he's just like, yeah, we got to go back.
Yeah.
We got to turn out of here
And
right
the
now.
guys on top of the cliffs are like, oh, these guys are smart.
Yeah.
Okay, they knew.
But they ended up like pushing a whole bunch of debris over, trapping them all inside there. There's no way for them to get out. And then the two boats of Askeladd and the rest of his men come along the other side as a bunch of archers like draw their bows on him, and it's like shit's about to go down.
Yeah.
But luckily for the people from Iceland, they got Thor's on their side, and
Yeah.
he's
Woo!
just like, all right,
Let's
like you
walk.
guys,
He was
you
like,
stay here.
yeah.
Yeah.
He literally jumped from one boat to the other, which looked like at least 30-foot jump.
At least.
At
He's
least
a long jump
15 feet in
champion.
the air.
Yeah.
And then he goes over there with no weapon
No.
No,
and
not-
literally dismantles every man on that boat
And
by
that's the
hand
clip that I always would see
of this show.
online. Is
Good
this.
Lord.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the thing is, like, he didn't use a weapon, but he
Mm.
really messed up everyone.
He was breaking
fucked
his
them up.
arms.
It was that's one of my
He
favorite
fucked people up
scenes.
more with weapons than without weapons than with them.
Well, I mean, he
jacked
even
him
said
up.
it later. He's like, a true master doesn't need a sword.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
That's-
he
which
was
is cold.
so
Yeah.
cold.
That's
In the time of Vikings, for somebody to say that,
Yeah.
he's not in Japan.
Yeah.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a Viking. Like, yo, I don't need a sword. A true person, a real dangerous person, you don't need a sword.
Yeah.
And he proved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whooped
He's
ass.
not about words.
No.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the back of that ship, while all that's going down, that huge dude Bjorn, who threw the spear into the guy in the wall, this big,
Yeah.
huge guy, is just like eating some magic mushrooms back there,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like, all right,
Berserker-
like by the time he gets
berserker
to me, I'm
mushrooms.
gonna
Yeah.
have something for him.
Yeah.
And he starts like freaking out, and like that's the thing, he starts throwing his own men off the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's beating the
Berserker
shit out of his own dudes.
I loved it. I was like, all right, you doing your job for me, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you're doing half the job for me. Go beat half your men's ass.
I thought this was about to be a fight. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yo,
this is
I
about
was
to be
hyped.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Nah,
hyped.
bruh. Thor's was like, oh, it's so cute.
Yeah. Mushrooms.
Socked them up.
Socked him up.
Dismantled that man.
He really
Again.
did. And because while that's going on, Askeladd just was like, all right, Bjorn's got this handled. Like, let me go over to these other dudes. He's just like, all right, puts down the planks. He's just like, get on the ship, take the other ones, don't hurt them, because if we cut them up too much, they're not going to sell slaves very well.
Yeah.
So,
Boom.
York
And
gets
boom.
splashed right in between the little.
Yeah, he breaks the planks between the
Breaks the
ships with the
planks,
guy on
yeah.
the mushroom's body.
Yeah.
Get out of here, bro.
I love how he just fell. Just
He just.
And then he jumps back over.
Mm.
And he's
I'm
just
sorry,
like-
were you saying something?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, can I help you?
Mm.
like,
I
Wow.
think we're going to
Fuck
take
you,
my
man.
people and go.
Yeah.
But he, I think we're on episode 4 at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
beginning
is-
of episode 4.
So
Yeah.
Thor's basically, he's like, oh, he has his like,
I can smell you. You're the leader.
he has
Yeah.
his Tanjiro moment.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, the smell on you. And they kind of eye each other up.
Good
They're just like-
callback. Good
Yeah.
callback.
Yeah, that was-
Tanjiro
that was-
moment.
that was-
He's just like,
Demon
all right.
Slayer. Yeah.
He tells him like, okay, you're the leader. Like, what do you say? We just like, there's no need for everybody to get involved because like you can come at me. Like maybe we'll lose a few of our guys, but you're gonna lose all of your guys.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Which is some
Askeladd,
gangsta ass shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Askeladd has kind of put that together at this point because there was a scene before they did this whole ambush where he's just like, you know what, something's fucked up with this whole job. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if they really wanted him, they would have gone after him. They are trying to hide like how many numbers they're about to, because like Thors is going to take out whoever. They must be
Yeah.
still scared of this dude. So
Yeah.
we should be prepared for heavy losses if we go in against this dude.
Yeah.
And so he's just like, all right, cool. Like I got a few tricks up my sleeve. Like I can maybe take this guy.
Yeah,
on
he's no
one-on-one.
hoe.
Yeah.
No, not by far. Yeah.
No.
So he's just like, all right, sure. Like one-on-one duel to decide this whole thing. Like you win, your people can go. If I win, like
You coming with me. and
you're
all
coming with
slaves.
me,
Yeah.
pretty much. And Thor's is like, all right, that's the best I could really hope for at this point. So they're starting this duel off, and yeah, Thor's is just walking straight at him, sword in hand this time.
Yeah, he got sword.
And yeah, this Askeladd guy, like I said, he's got some tricks. He cuts the rope
Yeah.
on
That was
the
a clean
sail,
move, man.
Mm.
I like this
underneath it.
move.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a clean move.
and
Yeah, he fucking
He slid under it
He
right before it hit the
limboed
ground.
the shit out of
Yeah,
it.
he killed that, and then he slashed Thor's.
Mm.
First person to do it.
yeah, and Thor's he's caught by surprise. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, this
Oh,
guy's quick.
Shit.
He's like, "Hey man, I can't take it easy on you."
Yeah.
He doesn't even say, hey man. He's like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, he apologized.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry because I can't take it easy on you
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah,
I'm
So
gonna
he
pull
pulls out
the
his
fuck
sword.
Even
out of you.
Askeladd, when he cut him, he was like, "Oh shit, that was shallow."
He's like, too
I ain't
shallow.
do-
Oh,
it's
no.
He's
I
like,
ain't
that
do
was
this.
my chance right there, and
Yeah.
I fucked up.
So
Yeah.
then Thor's like, "Can't take it easy on you." And from the first swing after this point, the fight was already over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you saw that first swing, like my man hit him. He was like, his eyes. He's like, oh, he paddles for 5 men.
Right.
Oh,
He's on the
Ooh,
defense.
Was she
he's so
throwing it back on you and
strong.
you didn't know? When she had it? He was like,
Yeah, you got to find a wall.
Oh,
you know, oh, shit. Yo, girl, get to the wall. Let's get to the wall.
I can't be in the middle of the floor with your ass.
Oh my god.
Because Askeladd, he's very. I think he's a smart fighter, but he's not physically as strong.
Yeah.
No.
So
Yeah, so he pretty much took it out. Like, this fight was amazing. A lot of sword swinging. And it's just like, it was very
Yeah.
mental. And then he was just like, hey, he's not aiming for me. He's aiming for my sword.
Yeah.
He's trying to break my sword.
Yeah.
Which means.
I'm gonna break his sword.
Yep.
And I'm gonna kill him. So he ends up, like, on the right moment, he breaks Thor's sword with his, and then he takes a wide swing, and Thor's was waiting for that the whole
He's
time.
like,
I
breaks
too
know
wide,
it.
bro.
I know all your
Shit.
moves.
He breaks the shit out of my man's arm.
Yeah.
Yep.
The sword falls. He kicks the sword back up to his hand and puts it on his throat. Game over.
Yeah.
He's like, I win.
That was so dope.
That was gangster.
And he's like, listen, I don't want to have to kill you. Like, we don't have to do this like that.
Yeah.
You can go back to your men. We'll go back to mine. And he's just like, listen, dude, you see me, you see this crew. Like, I can't surrender to you right now. Like, you know I can't just give up. They'll kill me.
Yeah.
Like, somebody will come along. So, like, sorry, but
Hence why Half Dad did the shit that he did.
yeah.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you have Bjorn that hops. He comes back off of his mushroom trip.
What
Just,
happened?
Oh, where am I?
Yeah.
He jumps up
My
on the
head
ship.
hurts.
Grabs Thorfinn and puts a knife to his throat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now
I'm mad at the other guy for not putting the kid up.
I'm mad at the entire Thorfinn boat of people who didn't do shit
Yeah.
when my man jumped across and grabbed the only child.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
There.
saying. They first of all, the kid immediately should have put this dude either under the boat, hide him back in that little barrel or whatever,
Yeah.
throw him in
Yeah.
that barrel, something. You left him outside. The kid got he ready to go. Like, come on, bro, what y'all thinking about, man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To even watch all of that.
Yeah.
To potentially watch your daddy die.
Well, it's gonna be his motivation, obviously, but like, bro, that was just like a bad move, and now his son has to watch this shit go down.
Yeah. Because Thorfinn's just like, all right, listen. Just acknowledge that I won the duel. Acknowledge the terms of our duel, and you
Yeah.
can take my head back because I know that's what you came here to do.
Yeah.
And he's just like, all right, it's a deal.
So he let the arrows loose.
Lets the arrows fly. It just reminded me of like that last scene in Fellowship of the Ring where Boromir's getting shot up with all those arrows and taking them all. And Thorfinn runs to him and he's just like, listen, man, like, you know, a real warrior doesn't need a sword. You know, just try to remember that. Tries to take one last chance at turning his son towards the path of peace because you know he doesn't want his kid like going
Yeah.
down the path of
Yeah, he
vengeance
can
or
tell. He's like,
violence.
I don't want you to end up like me.
Right.
Well, I mean, he told his son was like, "Yo, why'd you throw the sword away?" Because he grabbed the sword. Remember, he tossed it overboard or whatever it was. He's like, "Yo, what are you doing?" He's like, "You know, a real man don't need a sword." But it's like, bruh, you.
I got
mean-
I got a little emotional on this part of it.
Yeah.
I got-
I didn't want Thor to die at all.
I
No.
didn't- but I knew he had to.
Yeah.
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 I didn't.
I think the Sea of Swords, that this reminds me of 300 so much because that's like the end of 300 and they had all them. I mean, not
You
Sea
talking about
of Swords, the arrows. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then all of the
Leonidas?
arrows come and they was just like, all right, like this is
it.
what it is.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, Leonidas. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. And so they do end up, honoring the terms of that. They let Thor's people take one of the ships and head back. They take one of the second ship that may have been, or they probably took their warship.
Yeah.
And they probably let Leaf take his rickety
Yeah, that's what
trader
they
ship back.
Well, they couldn't use the warship anymore because if they don't have Thors, they can't paddle it. They didn't have the
Yeah,
people.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
They were like, it's too. He's
we
too
needed
strong.
5 men to do that. We only
Yeah.
have 5 men.
But as they're doing that, they're just like, "Hey, Askeladd, there's somebody still on the ship back there," and Thorfinn is standing there,
Yeah.
dead-eyed,
Aaron
just like,
from Attack on
Yo.
Titan is standing there
yeah,
after
His-
his mom died.
Yo, his eyes were like, I'm murdering everybody.
Yeah.
And they were mocking this kid.
Yeah.
And then he
It's kind of like what
screamed.
Tanjiro did with the antagonist when he was like, I'm
Yeah.
a fucking father.
I
don't care where
I
have
agree,
to
but
go."
I think Tanjiro was like at let's call it a level 7,500 or 8,000. But like Aaron from Attack on Titan, it stays on a level 9,000 at
Yeah.
all times. And like when he screams and gets mad, that's what I was reminded of when the kid was screaming and shit like
Yeah.
that. He's like, this is like Aaron about to turn into a Titan.
He's like,
yeah.
I'm-
He's got spit falling out of his mouth and
Yeah.
everything.
it
This
was
is-
so intense.
Yeah, they did a great job in making
eyes.
you feel like this kid is like he
Who
really,
is this voice actor?
Yeah, he was great. He
Yeah.
was great.
Goodness.
And I feel like they're gonna die very slow deaths.
Yeah.
Oh, they could.
I personally believe that guy who killed his dad is going to end up training him, because he's going to be like, look, man, I'm not actually the enemy here. Like, I got hired to do this. Thorfinn's going to understand that. And he's like, look, I'll teach you how to do it because the real bad guys are those the Viking dudes.
At least from how we watch, his rage right now ain't fucking with nobody.
He
bro.
not gonna get. You're not even gonna give him the chance to teach you.
Yeah.
Okay.
If the man in the back of my mind killed my daddy, like you can't teach me shit.
Unless-
I don't care
unless-
if he was a hired gun or not.
Unless you know some stuff, somebody told you some stuff ahead of time already.
No, I don't know anything.
I just I don't see that.
yeah,
I don't see that
it.
happening. But yeah, he was that raised, and they're mocking him like, "Oh, he wants to kill somebody," but it's like, let him be.
Yeah, it was like, what you want? We can throw him. They say you want to throw him overboard, and he's like, no, I'm straight. He's like, let him go.
Yeah,
Yeah, he tells him he's just like, he'll probably die on that ship anyway.
Yeah.
But
That
that
intense
hate is
stare.
gonna keep
that
him alive.
intense
Mm.
stare,
Bro.
bro.
That was their worst mistake.
Yeah,
They should have killed this.
they should have killed that kid.
And that's
Yeah.
into episode 4. So
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
how do you guys rate it? We know who's going first.
I like. You know what's funny? When we were talking about spoilers, I don't remember. I don't know if you obviously don't remember because you would have gave me shit about it. We were talking on this show about like Vinland Saga and stuff, and I was
Wait,
all
don't
like,
spoil. You about to spoil something?
no, it's
Okay.
already happened.
Okay.
But I was joking around. And I was like, oh no, I never watched it, but I knew I saw Thors, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, you man, and Thors dies, and like I said that, but I didn't watch the show.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then you was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, that'd be funny if he died, and then he ended up really dying.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Because I was going to watch the show beforehand too. Like I was
Yeah.
telling. I think I said on the podcast I was going to watch this show and then if I was going to recommend it or not.
Yeah.
But so far so good. What do you?
I'm-
What's
what
your?
you got, Ice?
Yeah.
I like it a lot. Like I said before,
He's like 4,000.
I like it a lot.
That's
right
not
now,
that's not a like.
I know that's
Yeah.
what Ice like though.
right now, I would say like 7,000.
Okay.
Right now, 7,000.
Decent. Yeah.
Rob,
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it too. It's kind of like it. This 4-episode arc was kind of like its own little like mini movie.
yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
like kind of
Yeah.
setting
Good.
everything up.
It's
I
good
feel
movie.
like there's going to be a lot. Like the series in earnest kind of starts after this. I give it a 6,500.
All right, Keenan.
For me, I gave it a 7,200. I felt. I think it's good. I did feel like it was more of a mini movie than even like just watching like a anime, like a first like a series or whatever like that. And I was just like, the animation was pretty good. Like the voice, I love the voice acting. Thor was a fucking beast. It gave me enough action and enough story to be like, this is. I'm like, Brendan and I were talking beforehand. We both had trouble like not watching episode 5.
Yeah,
Which I wanted to definitely do, like I did with Demon Slayer, but yeah.
Thank you for not doing that.
yeah, I didn't do it. What's yours?
Well, it's funny because I'm the one that score it last. I really do have an instinct to change my score, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stick strong with what I originally thought and how I do feel because it does feel like a mini movie, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. This is the feeling that I'm looking for when I start watching a new anime.
yeah,
this
Brandon was
is the
saying
feeling,
that. Yeah.
This is the feeling that I want. And so for me, I'm giving it a 7,500
Okay.
on my scale, just because of how much just how it came out the gate and how it closed.
Yeah.
Like it really did a good job it did reveal stuff to you a little bit ahead of time, but it wasn't too far.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like Thorfinn hiding in the boat. It was revealed, but not like right before it was revealed. So it wasn't like
Yeah.
they were trying to draw it out. And like
Mm.
Thor about to die is like it became obvious, but only really became obvious like second half way through the fourth episode, or
Yeah.
maybe a quarter way through. So I don't feel like they're foreshadowing in a bad way. I think everything happened the way it should. And I think this is looking at this alone is just his own piece. It's like, yo, if we had just watched this and reviewed it as a movie, that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Like
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
just a movie. That's what it was. Then I say this was a really good movie. 7500.
Yeah.
I
So-
don't know about a movie.
I mean, a short, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, whatever it was, it's like as a short, I was like, I enjoyed it. Like, I was like, I'm not desiring something like, oh, I wish this would have happened or that would have happened. Or I
Yeah.
didn't like these characters. There's not big plot holes. There's nothing like,
Yeah.
there's no characters I hate. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I'm like, the fights were amazing. The storyline was good. The world building was good. And everything that happened for me worked. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is what I'm looking for. Like, this is a solid ass anime. So I'm in it, and I'm really excited to see the training montages to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, and right now this anime I think isn't fully finished for the full season yet. So
It's not all released yet?
No, we'll
It's
probably
not
finish it by the. We'll probably
We'll
be
prob-
done.
yeah. But you know what I love about so far how we've been watching anime? The first 4 episodes, we watched first 4 or first 5. It's like it ends perfectly for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it does. It works really well.
It
It's
works.
It's almost like we knew that this was the way to watch it or something.
Yeah, it's like. But yeah, so we thank you all for tuning in. We want to know you guys' ratings also. So let us know what y'all think of the first 4 episodes of Vinland. I want to say Vinland Empire for.
Vinland
It's like
Saga.
Vinland Saga.
Yeah, check us out, man, on Instagram at animeSHUN.
Yeah, animation at the animation animation podcast
Like
on
I said,
Instagram.
yeah, animation podcast.
On
Hop into
Facebook
the chat if
also.
you're not in chat.
Yeah, jump in the chat.
oh, the
'Cause
chat.
the chat is getting lit. We
it's too much.
Yeah, it's getting wild. But
I
we
I
bet you
just check in
there's-
every once in a while.
there's
It's
There's
so-
notes
yeah.
in this chat right now. I know
I
it.
guarantee
of course,
it.
there always is.
I'm gonna just shout out somebody.
But yeah. Let us
in
know what
chat.
y'all think. Comment in the comment section on YouTube. Also, too,
Yep.
rate the podcast, man. Wherever you listen to the podcast at, man. Whether it's Apple, Google Play, whatever. Give us a 5-star thumbs up, however the rating is, and comment
Yeah, oh,
too.
yeah.
And
Do
let
that,
us
please.
shoot it up, man. Because the more ratings we get, the bigger we get. You know, we can take this thing on a tour. Y'all can come see us live. We
And
want
we
to do
can
big
talk
things with
shit
this.
forever.
Yeah, we want to do big things with y'all. So
Yeah,
the
and
bigger
if-
we get, y'all have to help us with that because y'all the fans.
Yeah,
Spread the
y'all
love,
asked
spread
for
the
a long
word.
episode too. Well, you're welcome.
Yeah, I mean,
We
this
want
is
this
115 is not long to them. I
Yeah.
think
It's
they're
long
talking
to
about.
me.
They said it was
To
like a
us.
3-hour episode. I'm like, I can't get y'all 3 hours.
Well, that's
We in this
podcast.
bitch.
Podcast to a lot of people. When somebody really enjoys you, they don't want you to stop.
yeah. Hence why we have YouTube content.
Hey.
So yeah, comment on our YouTube comment. Always share that stuff, man. We thank y'all for tuning in. Go ahead, drop your stuff, Ice.
Hey.
Hey, go ahead, Ice. Drop your stuff. Woo!
Finally.
He did it, guys.
Oh my god.
He finally listened. Go ahead, Ice.
First off, I want to shout out Sinjo.McFly, Brooklyn in the house. What's up? What's up? Second, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Your name. Your
Top
name.
top five coming soon. I know y'all been giving me shit
No,
about
your
that.
name.
And then now y'all can follow me at ice.mcgowan.
What?
He has a real name.
What?
Not Fly Daddy 65.
Not the eye exam, like
Yeah.
that you can't spell.
It was because my name starts with an I.
Yeah, can't spell it.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
That's me. Follow me.
I'm RV Danger on Instagram. I'll stick with that because I'm not really doing much on Twitter anyway. So
That's
yeah,
real.
Rob's not a social media guy. That's different.
not really.
Oh, he's getting there. I'm getting him there.
He's slowly but surely on Instagram. That's like the one place you might find me doing something.
All right. I'm at Mr. Producer Face on the gram, at Brennan Edwards Official on Facebook. Get at me.
How many more episodes of Chris Alcor is it done?
Oh, one more.
One
One
more?
more episode.
So
And
make
I've
sure
hit
y'all
my
watch-
final payment.
So make
go
sure
ahead.
y'all watch that
I
Sunday.
heard that shit.
Tune in. Support this guy, man. He did a lot of work on there. He
Hey, you
risked
guys
his
think I
life.
should do a watch party, like a final watch party?
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely do a watch party.
Pulled up on his live, said he had a shiny ass fucking head.
Oh yeah, guys, I did a Facebook live. I did a whole live stream for like 30 minutes. It's on my Facebook page, like I said, at Brennan Edwards Official.
Yeah.
It's
I think
I showed up disrespectfully asking me if we played basketball in the jungle because of Kurokuro's stupid ass show. Keenan was there too. I saw that. Rob wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Rob's dad was there though. Well, shout out to Harvey again.
Yeah, I was there in name.
And
You was your name.
Your name was there because
Yeah.
your
name was there.
check link. I think I pulled him and called Brennan a hoe, and then
yeah, they actually hid that comment.
Yeah.
oh they did.
Yeah, they hit that comment.
Hilarious.
I just said why your head so shiny.
I didn't know what they were
Yeah,
gonna. I was driving
My
when I
mom
did
was
it.
my mom was battling people in the comments. Apparently, it was
Yeah,
getting
that's
in. She was
hilarious.
going in.
Oh, see, I was driving when I did it, so I just dropped a real quick one, and then that was it. All right, find me on everything on Instagram, Facebook, everything. Just Keenan Baker, Keenan Baker. Also, October 30th, We have another Bonfire Story show. Make sure
Yeah.
y'all come through. We got a dope-ass lineup, man.
Gang.
I'll be
So make sure
here.
y'all come through. 7:30, doors open. 8:30, show starts.
Don't be late.
Come
bro.
through and support. And hit the Eventbrite in my link in my bio, so you get the tickets for that.
Do we have any more plugs? Can we do it?
I don't think we do.
I want to plug one more thing. We have Rob standing in for me on an episode coming up of my YouTube show.
That's
Oh, yeah.
jokes.
And I was on Daddy Issues this morning. so-
You were on Daddy Issues
You
this
would?
Yeah,
morning?
yeah. I filled in for Maya as a producer. It was
Oh.
DC and Keon. And
Yo, we're really gonna raise Rob's thing. 'Cause Rob has no.
I plugged this show, so maybe that's another Tony Baker bump right there.
Hey! Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm a huge fan of getting Rob in front of the camera as much as possible.
Oh,
Guys.
yeah.
Just put it out there.
All right, y'all. We thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of animeSHUN. We out.
Peace.
And so anime was solved forever.